How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
BGMI का यूनिवर्सल MVP वापस आएगा एक ब्लॉकबस्टर कमबैक के साथ। कुछ प्लेयर्स का जमाना होता है और कुछ के बनते हैं साम्राज्य। BGMS के मंच पे ओरंगुटान की पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त। Esports Ka Blockbuster.
It's the week 2, day 2 of the league stage in the Android BGMS Season 4, where I'm going to be a host of Castanet Crore. John alongside with me on the panel. Once again, it's Scared Yet. And Scared, it feels like OG's degrading performance is now genuinely starting to be a concern. Yesterday, after the third game, we saw OG get kicked outside of that top 4, which was not a good sight.
I mean, we normally talk about OG and we always say that, yeah, it's a team that creates a big leap up on the first place itself. The second placing team is something that's not closer than 30 points out there.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I mean, them falling out of the top 4 was a big sign of concern. And I was exactly mentioning that throughout the week 1 itself on multiple days that their performance is dwindling, everyone else is catching up, and yes, now they've eventually caught up.
But the good thing is that yesterday we saw a few teams that was doing extremely good, and one of them was also Victorious Sumus right next to True Rippers, claiming that chicken dinner on the map of Miramar. Man, that was an iconic moment right there.
I absolutely love that. Victorious Sumus, or rather True Rippers themselves, just pulling all of that off, right? And I think so Victorious Sumus did their best out there. Their main decision was to first pick the strangler off of True Rippers, that was iQOO, and then move forward, pincering True Rippers up with 8-bit and them in front and back of them. But man, True Rippers with their spray down, that was insane coming in from Harsh.
And generally speaking of it, 8-bit had a bit of a decent day if you really compared that day to all the other days they've had so far. Unfortunately for 8-bit, that game of Miramar should have been theirs, but then FS Esports came through with a spanner in the works and just completely shut down 8-bit on top of that hill. And then later on, True Rippers and their shenanigans, especially iQOO all the way in the far fray, the man was constantly spraying down 8-bit. They had no chance. And I guess the biggest moment of that entire final few instance was Victorious Sumus making that pounce on top of iQOO, and still the man was standing there defeating them.
I mean, he had to just stay alive. That was his main job out there. And everything else was being done by those 3 players that were standing right at the foothill of that cliff. And again, as I said, Harsh was the main man who eventually provided that cover fire. So yesterday was absolutely a banger day.
Of course, it was power-packed. And since we're speaking so much about what happened yesterday, let's have a look at the Week 2 Day 1 recap itself. Things started off in quite the weird manner. Since it was a new week, we all thought that the week start has to be the most important thing, and that's what exactly teams prioritized on. In the game 1 in Erangel, jitters started to clear away as we saw Phoenix Esports, and especially this man, Goat. He pulled off a miraculous clutch against the entirety of the team that was in the front, which was FS Esports. And let's not forget, FS Esports, it's one of the strongest teams out there.
Roman, my goodness, that guy, along with Lavish, yes, there are some force to be reckoned with. But Goated, you can change his name to Goated and he'd eventually stand up strong. But since we're talking about Goated, Jonathan Slade are obviously the best in class, and he clearly shows that.
Hero Extreme Godlike, they're running away with the consistency, but not with the chicken dinner. That's where Global Esports struck and claimed that chicken dinner in the first game yesterday. But as we moved on towards the map of Miramar, things were a little bit different. The vibes were different. Hero Extreme Godlike started things off with a bang themselves, but this is the moment that we were speaking of. 8-Bit's flow was broken by the players of FS Esports, and that was one of the main reasons why 8-Bits did not stand a chance to claim that chicken dinner. And this was the moment where Keelabout defeated victorious Sumus and somehow stayed alive in that instance.
The patience was impeccable with him holding down onto the spray of his rifle, not really putting it down on the man in the buggy itself, focusing as to his team support and then answering back perfectly. But that was not it, right? The map of Sanhok brought its own early segment fights out here, and I'll have to say, Soul was doing a good job, but God's Reign was the team that actually surprised me.
Exactly, Soul was looking pretty strong, but victorious Sumus, they were the one to clench their fists and actually get that chicken dinner after eliminating the likes of God's Reign. God's Reign, they have been bringing in that passive and defensive playstyle, but not in every single game it's going to work out. As we moved on towards the final game, we saw a bit of a clash between TWOB and Soul. Soul were eliminated in the lights, but TWOB got third party.
I remember talking to Joker as well, and the man said that yes, they wanted to pick that fight. That's why they jumped over Lipovka. They didn't want to dodge any bounty or anything. They wanted to take that fight, and man, the fight is what they got.
And let's keep this thing in mind. Impact player is not active anymore. We've only got bounty and power play active so far, so these are the only two bonus cards that are active in the game. And as we've got the leaderboard flashing on the screen, these are the active top 4 and also the teams that have got the bounty on top of their skulls.
I mean, one of the big points that I'm noticing is Revenant X-Park and Genesis Esports having the highest bonus point claims out there, right? 108 finishes, yes, that's fine, but 86 bonus points. And that is the big reason why, even though their position points, as compared to the other teams, yeah, they sometimes look a bit shaky, but it's still pretty solid, 247. But my focus still goes on the My G Loss Hermanos, 79 bonus points, 88 finish points too. But it's always the position where they're focusing or rather lacking.
I guess now the real concern is going to be Revenant X-Park. With the way they're running away with the lead, all the other teams are going to be extremely scared. And I'm pretty sure all the other teams will try to catch up against Revenant X-Park. But still, the consistency they're bringing in on the board, it's really helping them maintain that average and also build up even of a stronger lead. As we move on towards the second page of the leaderboard, you will see a few known names over here too. Global Esports yesterday kicked things off with a bang, but later on we did not see that consistency roll through.
Still at 180 points out right now. There was a time when they were up in top 8 as well, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be focusing on that. 8-Bit have been having a pretty consistent performance now, so that's a pretty good thing. Somraj took a back seat, I have to say, and with the new style Raiden is bringing into the team is actually doing pretty decent. But yeah, falling all the way down out there, Reckoning Esports, they're in a bit of trouble of their own.
And there's a big chance today we might just see a major leap from teams like Global Esports and 8-Bit. But since we've got a comparison of Hero Extreme Godlike on the screen, keep this thing in mind. Hero Extreme Godlike's going to be playing all the 4 matches today. So that means this lead can even be stronger. The performance can reflect even better.
I mean, we're having a comparison of day 3 versus the day 6 of the exact same team, right? And we can clearly see the big difference. On day 3, this team was actually playing fantastic. While on day 6, yes, there were numbers, but there were certain struggles as well. Just a little bit of a difference out there, because there's one thing that we're not really focusing here right now and we're not showing, and that is the bonus points. On day 6, they were able to grab quite a few bonus points. That's why the difference is actually pretty less.
Yeah, and once again, it's not even that big of a difference, right? 61 points, 66 points.
Yeah.
It's barely anything. Here, Extreme Godlike, still in my opinion, they're maintaining that average, they're getting that consistency, and that's what matters. What matters is the points flow. We've got the comparison between Revenant X Park and Genesis Esports as well. And of course, Revenant X Park, they're a mile ahead, let's be honest. Because overall, we know Revenant X Park is currently sitting on the first spot with a decent bit of cushion to play with, while Genesis Esports is still fighting right underneath that second spot.
It's a 13-point difference coming in between both of these teams, right? And that's what we are seeing as well. Finishes, bonus points. I believe the position points is something where Genesis Esports are lacking a little bit, and that's where Sensei's experience is coming into play. And, I'll have to say, as good as the other members of Genesis Esports are doing, Hunters is shining like none other in that team.
Absolutely. I mean, let's not forget the fact that even Revenant X Park, it feels like for a certain time, they're also heavily getting carried by Trey Scott.
Yes.
Let's be honest, this man is fragging outside of his mind. Nothing taken away from the rest of the players. They're doing great. It's a team effort at the end of the day. But Trey Scott, this man is just shining through, and you just can never ignore it.
It just falls down onto how well Sensei uses him, and man, I'll have to say, he uses him pretty well, but coming back to the same comparison between Hero Extreme Godlike and Orangutan, which the conversation we've had multiple times, right? OG, they are pretty ahead of them right now, overall with 10-point lead too. It's the finishes where my main focus goes, because OG's players are performing out of their mind in terms of that.
And once again, the main concern is that OG's only going to play 2 games today, and Hero Extreme Godlike's going to play all the 4 games.
Yeah.
So that's also going to be another important thing that we need to note down. OG, there's a big chance today they can be toppled over by Hero Extreme Godlike, since we're seeing their performance degrade day by day.
And it's highly possible if Hero Extreme Godlike perform pretty good, considering Simp is also now slowly and steadily starting to feel himself. We did see him perform in a couple of games yesterday. I think so they can not just topple over OG, but rather maybe topple over the second placing team as well. They're not that far behind. They are pretty close by.
Absolutely. And OG at this point in time, I'm pretty sure the only thing they're really aiming for is to be on that first spot once again. Because after dropping down by such a massive mile, I'm pretty sure it's a hit that no one really wants to have on top of their skulls.
Yes.
But OG, there's someone they are capable of pulling off that leap as well. So we know it's possible, but they've only got 2 games to prove that. Before now, it's time for us to toss to a short break before we move on towards the first game of the day.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
Alright, class, for today's lesson.
I already taught her something.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day for OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, 0 stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
The first game of the day will be live soon on the screens, and the groups playing are going to be Group B and C. As we know, inside of Group B, we've got some heavy hitters like God's Reign, Marcos Gaming, Soul, Orangutan, and Revenant X Park. And with the way Revenant X Park has been performing so far, it feels like now they're just going to be sitting at the top. No matter who's going to be next to them, they will fail.
It's the exact same seat which OG was sitting on once and eventually were toppled down by the likes of Revenant X Park, Genesis, and now even Godlike. It's going to be super fun to see if they're able to make that big comeback or not right now. But here's the thing, right? Whenever we talk about Godlike, we have seen them struggle whenever it comes to Group B and Group C. Considering the drops are so vastly divided that there are many times when Godlike eventually end up either in the crosshairs of Genesis or in the crosshairs of Mad Kings. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see something like that happen right now, because these two groups, whenever they collide, this is one of the strongest 16s that I've seen in BGMS Season 4.
At this point in time, I would love to see a few clashes myself, and as you mentioned, right, there are still teams like Genesis Esports in the fray. You've also got Mad Kings too, and these guys have been the bounty hunters for the past. And there's a big chance we might see that bounty being claimed too. Is that really going to happen or not? We'll find out once the plane's going to hit the skies, and right now will be that time. As the map Erangel boots upon the screen, and even the plane's going to be in the sky, starting all the way from Sanhok military base towards the opposite side, which will be Severny. At least for teams like God's Reign and K9 Esports, it's not going to be a problem at all, since Severny is right underneath the plane fly path, and the plane fly path is starting all the way from Sanhok military base.
My main focus will be where would Soul want to land in today. Last time when we were seeing them, yeah, School was eventually in the exact same area where the flight path was, but they still decided to drop over towards Lipovka. So that's going to be my focus on right now. A couple of early teams going in. Marcos Gaming taking a very early exit along with God's Reign.
I'm not sure what exactly the game plan is for Marcos Gaming, but it feels like they do want to drop on towards that military island.
Interesting.
Not exactly sure what the game plan's going to look like. Even Revenant X Park taking an exit towards that Fair Pier vicinity. It's not something you see them too often. We've also got Phoenix Esports move towards that same vicinity. A massive cluster of teams down south. There's a big chance we might see that clash come through. TWOB slowly and steadily gliding towards Norupnoi. It's not going to be a concern at all, since TWOB will be isolated completely. But up north, we'll see K9 Esports, Global Esports, and even Mad Kings take an exit from that plane fly path.
Godlike will probably end
Phoenix and Revenant X Park, a drop clash towards Fair Pier.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Revenant X Park, they are the ones who eventually move in that direction. It's the Phoenix Esports drop. Again, that early fight, that early aggression is what Sensei wants from his team. And why not when Fury, Fierce, and Trace are performing like madmen right now? This is going to be an up-close and personal battle between both of them.
Once again, let's not forget, for Phoenix Esports, even they've realized they woke up a bit too late, but still there's a chance to make a comeback, only if they claim the bounty and also get the chicken dinner. Phoenix Esports, they need nuclear performances after nuclear performances. And if they kick things off in this one game, things will be better. And they've already managed to kick things off as Ash finds the first knock. Fury gets knocked out. Phoenix Esports, they've got the man advantage inside of the fight early on. And look at Godin, the man's pushing up. And just like that, he wins that fight. Godin shuts down the second player of Revenant X Park. I'm telling you, man, this guy's insane in his 1v1s. It's tough to get him down. It's impossible to defeat Godin.
One of the best coming in out here right now. Pretty solid coming in. Trace, though, gets a knock onto Archit. This position's going to be noted now. Sensei is the only surprise factor who's got the TPP advantage. He can try and get another knock, though.
Yeah.
QPZ
on top of the roof, but once again, Phoenix Esports, that's a bait right there! Sensei reveals his position, and the man gets taken down pretty low. Sensei with half the HP now pulls out the shotgun. He's still got the advantage up close and personal, but Sensei was completely oblivious to the fact that he was getting pushed from the back. And now Revenant X Park, one last man standing, which is Trace God, and he's backing away, running away to his life. But I highly doubt Trace God's life is going to be spared. That's bounty for Phoenix Esports to be claimed. And Phoenix, if they do manage to kick things off with 18 points off the rip, that's going to be a comeback and a half right there. Phoenix Esports, the flames will be reignited. And at this point in time, Phoenix is just on the prowl, on the hunt. They've got no clue where Trace God is, but they're still trying to search the man down. Now slowly and steadily moving in towards the warehouses. Godin has got the MP45 to work with. But this man is absolutely insane in his 1v1s. It's hard to get him down. The moment he eliminates Trey Scott, that will be 10 additional bounty points added to the point structure, and that's insane.
Oh my god, Trace, he only has a pump shotgun as well. He's going to be spotted out instantly right now as he tries to survive as Archit and Ash. They're moving behind him, but they're not checking inside the warehouse. That's a bit of a problem right now.
Yeah, he's not even moving a single muscle. There we go, the man in the far frame gets spotted. Trey Scott instantly goes prone. He does not want this bounty to be claimed by Phoenix Esports. Phoenix is all the way at the bottom. Just imagine this bounty's going to help them so much.
Oh my god. The big mind game coming in though. Jatin, has he seen Trace? Does he have an idea?
Why are they not checking the warehouse? Why are they not checking the warehouse?
They think he's gone to the waters to run away.
Oh no, Phoenix, come on. Sometimes what you're searching for is right next to you.
Oh my god, they're going away.
Oh no, that could have been the bounty. Phoenix Esports has 6 points in this game so far. They just need one more for that additional 10 points, and that will be 18 points in total.
12 points from one man who's sitting in the warehouse, and they've got no clue about him.
No way, Phoenix Esports. The search!
Not
it needs
good.
to go on. They haven't checked the warehouses. They just checked them roughly.
I mean, they did not even move in through the warehouses. They just went ahead thinking that he went towards the shorelines.
Oh no, I just hope Ash and Urchit, someone actually gets closer to that warehouse and tries to search the man down. They're constantly searching him, looking for him in the water lines. That's what Phoenix Esports thinks. But Trey Scott is still there, lingering around the warehouses. Hero Extreme, Godlike. The boys towards Stalbert. Even Hero Extreme, Godlike, bringing a bit of that switch in the drop location. Now dropping towards Stalbert. And recently, Hero Extreme, Godlike's drop location hasn't really been that fixated. They always like to be versatile. They always like to drop all over the place. That is sort of a good thing and a bad thing as well, because that can also catch you off guard.
Yes.
But it is also good to bring in a switch sometimes when things are not really working out.
One of the big reasons for that is because of a very erratic plane fly path and bounty. Right? Because normally we would see some centric plane fly paths,
This was quite a centric plane fly path.
comparatively, yes, but now they've eventually fallen down to the same area of...
Oh, there we go.
They're checking it? Are they checking it?
Yep, Trey Scott's getting pounced. The final man spotted. He goes for the shots. Trey Scott!
Oh!
What was that? Disgusting stuff from Trace. How does he flick like that? Eliminating both the players and Trey Scott. It's a major surprise, Phoenix Esports. What happened there? This was supposed to be their fight. A 1v2. Somehow Trace converted it. And there's a reason why this man is the best player in Revenant X Park. The best performer in Revenant X Park. He's the best they've got to offer. But Juthin and Godin, together, if they push up, that should be a bounty claimed. And in my opinion, they should go for this fight.
Go for it.
It's 12 points right there to be claimed. And Phoenix Esports, the moment they do that, even if they get eliminated in this game, it's fine. They've done the job.
Oh my goodness, no way. It's God's Reign showing up against them. This one man for the bounty, it's not theirs.
Godin stuck in the back in God's Reign. They've pulled up with cavalry. It's unfortunate. Jethan really wants to go ahead and claim that bounty as well, but Godin gets knocked out by Delta. They push in tandem. God's Reign. They played perfectly. And now Phoenix Esports, for them, it's taken down a 1v1 between Trace and Juthin. And Trace, he knows that Phoenix Esports is getting picked off from the back. Juthin, you should push up. Go for that elimination point towards Warehouse. This is going to be your best possible opportunity. Use brain, Juthin. Come on.
It's just not going for it now anymore. And this is absolutely not the way how he was supposed to play. 22 more seconds remaining. And he's still not going anywhere.
Juthin should realize this. The moment he eliminates Trace God, that's 12 points right there.
I think so. It's fine for him to take just 11 points out, not really focusing on the power play bonus extra point.
How is that 11 points?
Because 1.5 elimination, 10 for bounty. So it's not really focusing for the 18 one, but rather 17-1, because eventually Trace will have to show himself up. But I don't think so he's going to get that window because God's Reign are hunting them down. And if God's
what's
Reign...
the guarantee that he's actually going to claim that elimination point at Trace God? That's the thing.
I don't think so.
He needs to go for it right now. That's the best possible thing you can do.
He's already lost that opportunity because God's Reign are around him now. And they are probably searching for that one last strangler. But considering where the zone is going, God's Reign, they will be moving backwards to try and prioritize that. Every single team has got to move all the way up north, and on the other side now it's Admino. They're going to try and take down the members of K9 who were already hurt previously as Beast was taken down by OG.
Hero Extreme Godlike. Even they're on the prowl. Punk's knocked out at least 4 now, but still, it's not that big of a problem yet for K9 Esports. They're dropping down like flies, and once again the problem continues. K9 Esports choking the firefights, now down to a 2-man squad. K9 can't do a lot in the given position. A 2-on-3 to be executed, man advantage in the hands of Hero Extreme Godlike. And you can see Ninja Boy backing away from this fight. K9 Esports, what's going on with them? How are they losing the firefights?
It just falls down to the place where they're not confident at all now. Can't really find their way. Both the players going in. Oh my god! What a big mess up! Ninja Boy
no way. There's no way.
Into the buggy to gift his elimination point.
But even Hero Extreme Godlike, this third party, it's a bit too much for them. It's taking toll on top of them. Players fall down for Hero Extreme Godlike, and just like that, they're also on the verge of being eliminated from this game. Who was able to claim the bounty for Hero Extreme Godlike? That's my question, and I guess no one's going to be able to do so because the elimination points were separated. Global Esports has to, and for Godlike, they've only got one last man standing, and that final man's on the move. He's Jonathan.
I believe it was Punk whose elimination got stolen away or probably confirmed by K9. Yep, K9 have got one elimination point. That was Punk. So yeah, Godlike's bounty is not going anywhere.
And another good news. Jutton's not going to get that elimination point on Trace God, since Trace God's moved all the way down south towards military base and Jutton's moving up.
You know, there are
in my opinion, the moment he knew Goten's picked off, he should have pushed up.
I agree.
He should have pushed.
I agree. I mean, my point is Goten should not have stayed back either ways. Both of them should have pushed up together to the warehouse, considering that there is nowhere else Trace God has to go. He will have to stick in that warehouse. And it's just a free 10 points now that are being left around.
I don't
by
get
Phoenix.
it. I really don't get it.
Honest, I'm pretty sure I'm actually going to try and find Ash to have a word with him about that, because
exactly that could have been a comeback right there.
This was the best opportunity that they had in a long time.
One of the best possible performances for Phoenix Esports.
Probably. Oh, hold on a second. Here's the thing. If fate really wants it to happen, then Trace might also move up because he's far behind Jatin, but he's also moving in the same direction.
I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I just know they're still decently in the close proximity, but it's not close enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Both the players, they've got different intentions. They've got different places to be. And OG at this point, eyeing out the entirety of Mad Kings in the front. OG as of now still trying to play it passive. They've already managed to claim that one finish point. That's going to be 2 since they got it in the power play. But as of now, OG, with the way things are for them, the performance degrading, dropping down day by day. OG needs that consistency back. They need the win of the sales. Genesis Esports on top of this hill. Even they're another team who's got the bounty on top of their head.
Yep.
And Genesis Esports too. Things need to be played safe. Honestly, once again, back towards that Jutin and Phoenix Esports conversation, man. It's really hard for me to get it out of my head. It's really hard.
You can't get it out of
Who in
your
their
head?
sane mind would think not to go for those 10 points right there when you're anyways getting obliterated by a different team? That was the best possible gateway that you could have had to take an exit.
18 points off the rip, you would have ended up at the second place in the leaderboard.
Come on, man. Phoenix Esports. I mean, these are the type of moments that's really keeping you down at the bottom. And the man gets eliminated by the play zone. Disappointing. Absolutely disappointing. Things could have been so better for them. But now they're just not there in the game anymore.
6 and 18. The difference is just humongous. 3 times the points.
And look at Trace. The man just blew himself up the moment he knew the last man has been eliminated.
At this point, yeah, I'm just done talking about that, bro. I'm genuinely not having a word about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna focus on what's happening on the screen now. It's done.
I just don't get it.
No
I
one
honestly don't get it.
No one will get it. I'm pretty sure the people on the Hindi desk who I can hear right now, they've got the exact same thing and doubts in their mind as to why would you not go for that one elimination point, which gives you 11 at the bare minimum. 12 if you take it in power play. That's unnatural, and it's something that they will eventually have to discuss out there right now. But a big cluster right now forming on the way towards the southwestern part of the circle, right? And a lot of teams will eventually fight because this is not your conventional zone. And I'll have to say, OGs are in the prime position to take this one, but our Tanki falls down to Nakul. That's a big thing happening. NoNx as well, whose slow and steady consistent performance has brought them on the 17th position. They're also looking to try and make that bounce over to the members of 8-Bit.
8-Bit. It's one of those moments where the players are trying to fight for their life. And NoNx, since yesterday, they've been feeling themselves. Yesterday's day was quite decent for NoNx, and they just want to continue the same prowl. They want to continue the same domination. Anonymous, Kalyug, Rapido. Jonathan right next to Gyro. What is this? Jonathan, the man's not even moving a single muscle, but now he needs to do so. Gyro, he was almost on the verge of juking those shots, but in the end, Jonathan connects. And Marcos Gaming, they've now got a casualty under their wing. It's a tough way to kick things off with for Marcos Gaming, but for Jonathan, that's a free elimination point claimed right there.
Now Marcos are going to try and hunt him down as well. They want the Strangler out of this game. But a big play coming in from Jonathan. Got to put in that smoke out there right now. Not a lot to work around with. Just a few utils here and there. But here we go. A big fight happening right now. It's going to be 1-for-1 trade going in. That's an insane play from Zap. Hunter still standing up. Can he try and survive for a little bit longer? It's going to be the big thing. NoNx again on the receiving end. They had a perfect opportunity to claim this bounty right now, but they still need to get Hunters.
That was absolutely insane from Zap. But NoNx, as you mentioned, still one more man to go. Anonymous and Kalyuk, they've got the 2 players standing. But Zap, man, the man did a lot of damage. NoNx now in the back, and 8-Bit really does want to push up and take the advantage of this fight that's going on. Even God's Rain from the back lines now chewing up slowly and steadily.
Bounty stolen.
And yep, the last man, he gets eliminated. And Genesis Esports eliminated from the game as well. NoNx, players knocked out in the open. They need to get the revival. They need to get the fallen comrades back up on their feet. As 8-Bit, even as Power's going to be a casualty for them. And just like that, even Hero Extreme Godlike follows up that same fray. NoNx for them, the problems are not done yet. It's God's Rain in the backlines, constantly tossing those utilities, and a connection from Neo. It's going to seal the deal as NoNx has been eliminated from this game.
Same the pit problem coming in, which you mentioned about that a couple of days ago. The only big problem of playing in a dip is that regardless of where the nade goes, it will land onto you. And right now, Neo, all the shots are being landed onto him right now. The support comes in from his team as well for the cover fire, but he'll be able to patch himself up. The lucky thing is that he survived. Otherwise, there was no way for him to get the revival. No one else from his team is close by. And 8-Bit is up in front of you. There's also TWOB on the other side. Orangutan in the dead center. But it's also the center of attraction for most of the teams, as Global Esports have taken the northern control, iQOO Seoul, all the way towards the eastern phrase. Western areas.
The next zone.
Yeah, they're kind of divided right now, but Mad Kings and OG are going to be super happy about this circle.
The next zone pops up north. And as you mentioned, Mad Kings and OG in the prime spot. OG's got the warehouse, Mad King's got the compound. On paper, Mad King's got a better compound. But OG's in the smack center. Let's see how OG's going to play this one. This comes with a lot of risk that OG's going to have on top of their skulls. Even Mad Kings, they're also going to be the center of attraction soon. As TWOB now, they're getting chipped apart from the far fray. Still, Mac is alive. The man's constantly bandaging himself up. Raiden's knocked out from 8-bit. Problems, they continue as God's Reign. They once again look to reign supreme against the players of 8-bit this time. The man in the shack spotted. Second nade from Neo has to find the mark, but God's Reign, even they're facing a bit of those troubles now as Destro falls down. Still 3 more players remain as Neo's taken down pretty low as well, but it's completely fine within the blink of an eye. 8-bit, even they've been wrapped up in a sheet.
Beautiful performance from Neo. He's able to take all of them down one after the other though, but Justin out in the open. You pick Destro up from his feet and now Neo's falling down. Justin's going to be revived back up right now, but Puka wanted to push up close. But guess what? The revived man, Destro, leading the chart with example. That is big. IGL takes the IGL.
It's been a while since we've seen this type of God's Reign, and finally, an aggressive character pulled out from God's Reign. Insane amount of finishes under the wing. 9 finishes on the board so far. And God's Reign's not looking to stop anytime soon. They also need to travel all the way inside of the zone, and that's where the real problems will begin for God's Reign. TWOB, the last man, Avi, has taken a lot of shots. He does find the knock, but that's not going to matter. He was the only man standing for TWOB, and to do more damage was impossible. As TWOB's been eliminated. But a different fight right underneath the bridge. Even 4TR locking horns with Marcos Gaming, and Global Esports taking down the players of Seoul. Soul's losing out on 2 players. Knuckle and Goblin down. Legit the only man standing. A 1-on-3 in the front loading up. And Legit, he somehow threats the needle against Manya. What a knock that was. Clean and precise. Veron all the way in the far frame, but he still finds that connection. And that's going to be it for Soul.
Nice shots coming in from Veron as well. The ex-5th member of OG. Now playing in this roster of hungry 5th members who are looking to lift the trophy. And Manya against his old friend, a long-time friend with whom he picked 2 trophies of BGMS iterations. The first and the third. Still surviving right now. What a way to try and take them down. And with that, now Global Esports with 4 men strong, they can even try and topple over the members of Seoul in this game if they end up getting most of the elimination points and the chicken dinner.
I love this God's Reign. Quite aggressive, here to make a mark. And they're actually punching a dent in the lobby as well. But God's Reign now needs to make it inside of the zone, and the only possible way is going to be the waterway. Because if they do try to go for the bridge, there's too many campers. And they will evaporate into thin air. Everyone from the side of God's Reign, they've jumped their vehicles in the water lines. And they're sitting inside of those vehicles. Now finally they decide to swim. OG's trying their best to at least find some sort of line of sight to stop the players. But it's getting real impossible. They've got no lines of sight. In God's Reign, right underneath the water, slowly and steadily, like the sharks, they're swimming on the bay.
It's going to be difficult for them to try and bring themselves back from this one. It's only because of the circle, otherwise this should have been their game. Marcos Gaming as well now. Closing it up against the members of Mad Kings. Mad Kings have the numbers. They are the ones who are defending the compound.
Oh no, Shadow's too exposed. The man was taking a lot of damage from the back lines, and what did I just see? Shadow! Hands were too busy with the nade. Spots the man go up, but luckily enough, Shadow, he instantly moves back. So the man's still fine. But bad OP up top. The man's taking a lot of damage with that Molotov. Barely surviving on a sliver of HP, and Naughty, he's knocked out. Marcos Gaming, the only hope is bad OP. Naughty moves up slowly and steadily to claim some sort of intel. And if possible, probably go for that revival as well. And it is going to come through. But they've got no clue. One of the men from the side of Mad Kings is right underneath. And if he hears this, he will try to make that pounce. But no, instead he backs away and reunites.
Interesting. 3 people playing together right now with Mad Kings, and one a little bit up front, probably that's Apollo.
Oh my god, God's Reign, so lucky.
Lurking out here on the edges. They're lucky that no one's watching them. Everyone's attention and focus was on this fight of Mad Kings and MG.
OG's the only team that's trying to keep the players of God's Reign off at bay. But God's Reign, they've got that rich to play with, and OG does not have clear lines of sight. And that's what God's Reign's going to try to abuse. Marcos Gaming, they've got a second shot at life. And Marcos Gaming will try to abuse that as well. But Troy falls down from Global Esports. That's a great knock found from OG. Orangutan, the apes now starting to cause a bit of that problem. And at this point in time, OG and even Mad Kings now taking shots against the players of God's Reign. 2 players drop dead. And soon enough, they will be confirmed as well. There's no way Delta's going to be alive. Neo all the way in the sidelines. And God's Reign with the final 2 glimmers of hope standing. The chances of them taking the chicken dinner is now next to impossible.
Yeah. They're only going to try and fight for the position points at this point. There's nothing else that they can do. Maybe try and ruin the game of Mad Kings or OG if 1 or 2 of the Stranglers are left alive. And that too is going to be on the courtesy of this next shift, which is not on them. Good luck to them now trying to survive through all of this.
Wait, Delta's still alive. Hold on.
He's going to get the revival in, and Justin has actually closed up the distance to the members of Mad Kings. This could be a problem though for them.
No, I don't think Justin's going to have any sort of striking point. Justin's going to wait for OG to send it against Mad Kings. That's probably going to be the best possible thing they can wait for.
That's not happening.
God's Reign's now patching himself up and finding themselves in a better and a comfortable spot. Marcos Gaming is the only team that can be the spanner in the works. And especially now Stone BGMI is moving up close. If Stone BGMI finds a line of sight, that's going to be real problematic for Justin. There we go, Neo spotted Stone. Even he reveals his position, but Justin, he's the one to suppress Stone, at least as of now. But Stone got a lot of cover to play with, and that's what Stone's going to try to abuse. Another man down from God's Reign. A real problem, a real spanner in the works is Stone BGMI. The moment they got that second shot at life, that's where we knew Marcos Gaming is now going to be in real trouble. And Marcos Gaming, with all the 3 players, they reunite once again, punishing the players of God's Reign.
Oh, another one now almost being taken down. They already have the hit markers. They know where the players are, and they're going to use this race to try and close the gap as Delta falls to Stone yet again. You mentioned about this one dude though, but the hit period comes in from the other side too. Justin, the only man standing, is going to try and hold his angle down, but can he pull it off?
Oh my god!
He gets 2, but not before he himself falls, and Marcos Gaming's game is ruined as the circle will move on to them.
The Blues on the move, and Marcos Gaming needs to make it inside of the circle. And even Mad King's constantly tossing out the utilities. It's going to get the re-knock on Stone. Marcos Gaming, things are going pretty bad. The stubborn nature from Marcos, it's now playing against him. Marcos Gaming, no possible way out of this position. As Mad Kings, now they look to make the pounce and clench their fists. OG, this is the opportunity. It's quite open, and if they want, they can shut down the players of Marcos. And even the players of Mad Kings. Apola moved all the way back in the blue as he gets taken down by the play zone itself. Mad Kings, aggression, but not in a good way. They got a bit too greedy, and now OG, they've got the gates open to secure the chicken dinner. As Mad Kings, they lost out in 2 players in the process.
Now it's going to be a big problem onto them though. OG, the circle is on them as well as Global Esports. They also decide to make a move on to Mad Kings. 4 people standing up, and in the backseat of the car rides Spray God. Getting a quick knock as well coming in from the other side though, but there's no confirmation. Troy's been taken down. Clutchcore takes 1, so they do wound Global Esports. And now what is AKOP doing?
The man was just driving so slow in that US. I'm not sure what the game plan was for AKOP. But now it's knocked out, and there's no possible way AKOP is going to be back upon his feet. He's right behind that US in the hopes that it's going to block those shots. But that's not going to be the case. AKOP gets burnt crispy. And the man's out. And especially now, as Global Esports, they look to take fight against the remaining players of OG. This seems like a Global Esports' game. Yep. And what a way to make the pounce as well. Reading the elimination feed perfectly. They knew Mad Kings is at their lowest, and that's when they made the pounce. A 4-on-2 to be executed. It was impossible for Mad Kings. And that's where Global Esports took the advantage. But now it's a 3-on-2. OG with a man disadvantage. Spray God's taken down a bit low. Spray God cannot really go for those type of shenanigans anymore. And for OG, I'm not exactly sure what that move was to send iQOO all by himself. It was quite questionable.
I have no clue. That too without any smokes. Absolutely nothing. Just kept on going. That's so unconventional coming in from the boys, and now it's Wiz to try and make some things done for his team, because Aru, yes, IGL, he is there out, but the only thing that's helping them is going to be the blue, because that's going to push the members of Global Esports out in the open. Global Esports have the numbers to play with, but they don't have the real estate to do so.
Spray God still behind that rock. The man's isolated. And the moment Spray God tries to move away or around, he will be shot at. OG, they've got him locked in the sights. Spray God's got nowhere to go.
Ammo.
And Global Esports is now trying to thread that needle, toss that nade through the little opening that's there in the warehouse.
Ammo.
Yeah, it's off the concern. Just 32 bullets in the mag and 42 bullets on the other guy.
Aru.
I'm not exactly sure what he can do there. OG, not the best possible scenario they're provided with, but they need to do something. Those bullets now need to be counted. The amount of bullets they've got, that's going to help them threat the knock, and that's what I was talking about. They still find that crucial knockout. Still a few more bullets available, and as long as they're taking the long-range fight, it's fine. But soon they will need to close up.
Aru's
and
down.
that's where OG will find a lot of struggles. Aru gets knocked out. The man was barely alive. And now even the Blues on the move. Wiscott, the man needs to move out in the open. He does not really have a lot of cover to play with. And Wiscott, the moment he does so, he will be eliminated from the game. As Global Esports, they claim the chicken dinner. And what a way to start the day off as well for Global Esports. Yesterday, too, Global Esports started off with a chicken dinner. Today as well, they start off with a chicken dinner. It's something about the first game in Global Esports.
Consistency is now starting to build up on this team. A phenomenal performance coming in from their side. Reading the feed perfectly. Bouncing on the opportunity perfectly. Pack of hyenas that know when to strike down the lions. Isolating and then destroying.
Solid stuff from Global Esports. This is the type of performance you expect from a banner like this. Having a look at the final few moments, I'm not exactly sure what Matt Kings was doing, but that was too greedy of them. And this is why we're taught in the school, greed's never good. At least Crutchcott did manage to get one of the eliminations from Global Esports. So they got that one additional point, but still it's not something that's going to make a big difference. Matt Kings could have won this game, but unfortunately, because of their greed, they ended up losing it. But for now, let's move on to the stage, or let's move on to a short break, as we'll be right back.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
There's something about global esports in that first game, and every single time they come out with flying colors. And once again in the first game, global esports getting that chicken dinner and proving exactly why Manya has won 2 trophies of BGMS so far.
The entire cluster was on the southern edges out there, and while he and his team, they made sure to clear out all the eastern fray and then went back and made sure that they're fully protected from any kind of lurkers.
Just like Google Play Protect, which is going to protect your apps and data. So I'd recommend you guys to check it out. But back towards the conversation, right? Now, as we know, Marcos Gaming, they got a second shot at life. They pretty much did the best out of the position they had. But Mad Kings, things could have been much better. Only if they wouldn't have been greedy. I understand they wanted to claim those elimination points, but they should have known the fact that there was OG right around the fray. And that's where Mad Kings messed up big time. But I guess maybe Mad Kings happy with the amount of points they got. They've not done too bad in that previous game. Still got a decent bit of points. And as we've got the MVP popping up on the screen with 6 finishes and 55% finish contribution, I mean, Spray God as usual. The man's outperforming anyone from his team.
11 total finishes probably for his entire team though, but yeah. Spray God is in 2 out of the 3 out there, right? Mane is going to get as the finisher who eventually took down WizGod at that last fight, but the stars of the match for going all out. It's again Spray giving the best revival as well, or rather the best companion. That's also going to be Spray God. So it seems like, yes, this game number 1 was eventually a Spray God game, but that happened even yesterday. In the first game, Global Esports performing brilliantly, but then eventually fizzled out. And that was the only reason why we were not seeing them in the top 8 right now. So good start, but they need to keep that consistency on.
And once again, quite a good performance even from the side of OG, right? Since they are currently on the 4th spot in the overall standings, and they needed a performance like that. And since we move on towards the OnePlus Never Settle moments, we start off with a disappointing move from the side of Phoenix Esports, which was not supposed to be played like that. They should have went for it. They should have tried to make the pounds. Especially Jatin should have pushed up and claimed those 11 points. But for some reason, for God-forsaken reason, the man did not do so.
You know, the reaction that Punk gave in that camera was the exact reaction of both me and Necro after seeing that moment. So yeah, even I wanted to see something more out of that, but eventually we saw things happen the way they were supposed to happen out here. Pretty unconventional to see AKOP being in that position, but it's absolutely fine right now. What's happened has happened. I'd have to say, you know, finally OG bringing themselves back up as well in the elimination feed, in the points feed. That's something that we wanted to see from the boys.
Exactly. You see 21 points right there from Global Esports. Now we're finally seeing a bit of that consistency dripping out from Global, and that's probably good since they've got all the 4 games to play today. You move on towards the 2nd spot. God's Reign with 15. Solid performance once again. Mad Kings with 13 points. I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy with that performance. Marcos Gaming, slow and steady moves on the board. They're still doing decent for themselves on that spot with 9 points, and even OG getting 9 points. That's more than enough to keep their spot pinned down in the overall standings.
If only that one fight Jatin would have taken, he would have won. His team would have been on the 2nd place right now, but it's fine. I think so that's a wound that's now inflicted on everyone, but we'll be moving all the way forward out. Soul and 8-Bit just one behind each other, 4 and 3 points for themselves. But NINZA, yeah, it's pretty unconventional to see them on the extreme bottom of the leaderboard as well, or rather in the entire game points table. Now that's something that we didn't really see, but they were facing quite a few struggles out there. B8 Baba eventually fell out of his moving vehicle to get himself knocked down, but having a look at the overall ranking, OG bouncing over Godlike, but again, Godlike has still got 2 games more to play.
I mean, these leaderboard, once again, we're not really seeing a lot of moves after that particular game. It's just OG moving up and topping over Hero Extreme Godlike, and Hero Extreme Godlike moving down to the 4th spot. It's still fine though, since we know Hero Extreme Godlike is going to play all the 4 games today, so anything can happen. We might just see Hero Extreme Godlike directly move on all the way towards the first spot, because it was not a great performance from the side of REVENANT Spark either, so that's still an opening.
Still going to be a big one, yes, I agree. Overall, as we move all the way down there, Phoenix Esports, man, this game could have been the point where they would have crossed 100-point mark, but it's fine, they've still got a chance right now to try and do it. TWOB as well, 109 points, moving a little bit up, only toppling down Reckoning. But they've played one extra game and Reckoning is yet to play their own games today. So it's going to be the last chance for the teams of Group B to try and make their move up in that ranking. That goes for Seoul, that goes for TWOB, also goes for NoNx, who've been having some pretty decent games though, I'll have to say, right? Instead of being eliminated early on in the power play, they're now at least surviving over towards still we see the top 8, right? So I think so they're doing a pretty good job for them.
Of course they indeed are, right? All the other teams in the top 4, they're doing pretty good. Even if 1 or 2 games mess by, I still think it's completely fine. It's not like you're going to be pushed out completely in the back. So it's fine. Before now, it's time for us to toss to a short break before we move on towards the deserty lands of Miramar.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, 0 stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test, proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
Alright, class, for today's lesson.
I already taught her something.
A huge shout out to our mobility partner TVS, and this time the Wicked's gone next gen. The TVS Raider iQOO brings more swagger with digital cluster with 85 plus connected features, GTT, best in class torque, and now 9 crazy colors. I recommend you guys to check this ride out.
Beautiful bike out here. Start things off on the beautiful map of Miramar. Yes, deserty lands, but we always like to see some of those nasty fights that happen, right? Even Jelly in this interview yesterday mentioned about the same thing, that it's those unconventional circles that actually test the capacity of the IGL to its fullest. Really hope that we could see something similar today as well in that one. The only thing is Jelly is not here for this game. He's going to be joining us for the map of Sanhok and then the last game of Erangel right now. But yeah, a lot of teams eventually now trying to fight for the exact same consistency. The entire event is a marathon, but every single day is a sprint for all of them. Either 4 games or only 2 games. So just 1 more remaining for Group B.
Average matters, and so does consistency. And whoever manages to stay consistent will be at the top of the board. And currently the top 4, they're of course doing extremely good. Another shout out to our title sponsor, OnePlus. And once again, keep this thing in mind, all the players currently playing on the OnePlus 13R. This device is one of the best devices out there, so I'd recommend you guys to check it out as well. With a long-lasting battery life, it is one of the best devices you can get your hands on. And of course, that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 will also help you get that smooth gameplay.
Also some nice figurines that come with it. So obviously, you're about to check all of that out right now as the teams get locked in and focused, right? It's a big day coming in for Godlike, because every single time that I say that, it all falls down to the day when you've got 4 games to play, and that day is today for Group C.
And once again, the map of Miramar boots up on the screen, this time starting all the way from Minas Tel Sur towards the opposite side, which will be Torre Amuda or Oasis. It's right in between. But once again, we never know how this Miramar is going to be shaping out, since we've got the same groups once again participating inside of this game too. You've got NoNx, God's Reign, NINZA, Marcos Gaming, OG, Soul, Revenant, X-Park, and TWOB in that one single group. And the best possible thing about this group is that all the 4 teams currently have a bounty on top of their head, and they are playing in these 2 groups.
Hopefully we're going to see 8-bit perform in the exact similar manner right now. Pretty unconventional to see so many teams dropping out so early on down south. 40R, God's Reign as well. All of them all the way there. Phoenix, they're going to move towards Partona a little bit. There's another team right next to the members of Phoenix. It's probably the last member of 40R, so he's going to be moving with them. Chumasera is going to be absolutely fine. No one's going to target OG there. Revenant X-Park will move over towards Lost Leonis a little bit. Everyone else going on to their own drop locations, but it's down south where I want to focus more, because even global esports are near that western bridge.
Absolutely. Phoenix Esports towards Partona, right underneath Marcos Gaming. And at this point from Phoenix Esports, I do not know what to expect. Just want to see good performance, that's it. I do not care if they want to go for the bounty. I do not care if they want to play for the power play. Just get a good performance. The plain flat path was on the left side of the map, and the zone's going to be on the right, polar opposite.
God's Reign will probably try to make their move back to the Impala. One of the prime spots for this entire circle if you look at it. But they're going to be pretty late going there, so that's one thing. Just a few teams who are actually moving towards the circle itself right now. Morty, down and out. Not quite sure what he wanted to do in that glider, but
oh my god.
A Winchester in the hands of Jatin. I love that weapon.
It's been a while, but can the man really find a lot of success? That's the main question. He
got a hit.
Find the connection, but he needs to find the knock. Just getting a hit does not matter. He needs to find a knock. That's the only thing that's going to get them the elimination point, and also a few extra. Even Archer's got his hands on the Winchester.
Best weapon.
What's going on? Why does everyone prefer this?
I swear to God, that's such a good weapon, man. I absolutely love it. For the memes, yes. I absolutely love it for the memes. You haven't really seen that show called Supernatural, huh?
Listen, it does not matter. At this point, you're playing a pro circuit. You're not here for memes. You're here for performance, especially for a team like Phoenix Esports, who's all the way at the bottom. They're not supposed to play for the memes, but it's fine. I'm pretty sure the moment they drop down, that's the only weaponry they found.
Exactly.
So you cannot even blame them. And they did get that one elimination point, so that's probably the most they could do. But I'm not sure why Phoenix Esports decided to drop all the way down south in such an awkward spot. But hold on to that thought. Hero Extreme Godlike. They already kicked things off as Omega gets caught. And how is it Mino still getting away with crime? The man's still alive with the UMP-45, 25 bullets in the magazine as well. He wanted to go for the confirmation, but Slug from the back, he stabs him. Hero Extreme Godlike, the cavalry arrives, but it's a bit too late. And Mino's already knocked out and confirmed. And K9 Esports even for them. Now they've got more men towards this compound. Punk, he's all by himself, and he gets absolutely obliterated.
Finally, the team is looking a bit more connected as well as Sim tries to run away on his vehicle. It's not really going there to fight anymore. Jonathan was all the way towards Cruiser Valley. That's very disconnected from Godlike if you think about it. Admino, yeah, he did what he all could, eventually being chased down by Slug and then the rest of the members joining in, but the backup came so very late.
Hey, let me tell you now, K9 Esports is going to do good in this game. Ask me why?
Because they're looking confident and
No.
Omega is out?
Yep. The second one.
I thought so.
Because Omega is not alive anymore.
He's going to have his free hand and tell the team what to do, where to go, while the rest of the members
Or
are
maybe
like,
he's just not going to indulge anymore. Anything can happen. We do not know what happens behind the scenes, right?
What are you trying to say?
But hold on to that thought. Phoenix Esports.
All right.
Godin still taken down extremely low. There's God's Reign around the fray. Sim, man's taken down pretty low as well.
Chasing.
He's still alive though. It's fine, but K9, they're not done yet. It's the hunting party, and they're here to claim the bounty, my friend. One more man still alive, and that's going to be Jonathan. And Jonathan's on the run. He does not want to be hunted down by the players of K9 Esports. And Jonathan's already way too far away from the grip. It's impossible to hunt a man down now.
It's only going to be a blessing if you eventually run across him one more time in this game. But one thing is for sure, Jonathan is not going to blow himself up.
Oh no.
That ain't happening.
Problematic start for Phoenix Esports. Justin's already knocked out. The fight's now taken down to a 3v4. But hey, they reply back pretty well as even Destro falls down. God's Reign as well taken down to a 3-man squad as Phoenix Esports. There's still a fighting chance. They've got the shotguns and the ARs to play with as Neo now gets back inside of that house. And that's the best possible cover the man can ask for. God's Reign. Delta, he's in a one-on-one against Godin. And we all know the man rarely loses those. Phoenix Esports, they eliminate God's Reign. How did this happen? They had the man advantage and still Phoenix, they somehow win this fight. This is unbelievable.
Big one indeed. Immediately getting 10 points overall out here in the power play itself, and the chase is on. It's K9, they're hunting every single one down, and this time it's TWOB in their crosshairs.
You love to see it. K9 Esports out on the hunt. It's the hunting party of K9 Esports, and this time they clash against TWOB. It's a whole different squad. I'm pretty sure K9 wanted to find the last straggler of Hero Extreme Godlike, but accidentally ran into TWOB. But even K9 Esports are facing the similar problems. TWOB as well, they're taken down extremely low. Ninja Boy, the only man standing as TWOB. They've got 2 men still alive. And one of the men from the side of TWOB is already going to make the pounce against Ninja Boy. Ninja Boy, he's got the Vector to work with and a few utilities to back him up. This nade needs to be on the point, and it will maybe find the point as well. As Avi now pushes up, and the man gets knocked out. Solid stuff from Ninja Boy. This is what you like to see from a banner like K9 Esports. That's 12 points right there in the power play. And Ninja Boy, if he wants, he can actually close up and shut down the last man. But here is the third party of Seoul. And that makes a lot of sense that Ninja Boy's isolated his teammate and ran away.
It's a nice call from Omega as well, and a nice decision from Ninja Boy to just retreat back. Tactical retreat to now play in for the possession points, and maybe, just maybe, find Jonathan out in Campo Militar. Imagine if he also actually ends up finding Jonathan and claiming those 10 bounty points. Without a chicken dinner, his team's going to end up over at what, 23-point mark.
Jonathan's all the way up north towards Campo Militar. It's impossible.
He was going in that direction and then just decided not to go for it. But hold on, Phoenix Esports. This time they look like they're absolutely angry right now, taking the fight against the members of Global Esports.
Hold on, this is insane. Somehow K9 Esports, they managed to get the revival on the fallen comrade. How did this happen? The third party from Seoul was not able to find that knocked player from K9. And now K9 Esports might just have a second shot at life. The fallen man will be back up, but Phoenix Esports, even they get eliminated in the sauce. But that's still 14 points right there. It's all good and dandy.
They're going to be happy about it, considering with the way how things went. 5 finished points already before they fought against Global Esports, and then getting 2 confirmation onto them when they were down a member. I'm absolutely happy about it. Phoenix, good work. Nice reclaim of their lost opportunity in the previous one right now, but
still not yet.
At least it's something. At least
in the upcoming game, they need a similar performance. Then maybe I can say it's a bit of a cover-up, but not yet.
To be honest, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Phoenix Esports, they've got the capability, man. They're so good in their 4v4 fights. They should rely a bit more on that. They should go for the early game fights.
True.
But honestly speaking, before this, we did see Phoenix Esports go for the early game fights too, but in the previous days, Phoenix Esports was getting rolled. Something has definitely changed. And I guess it's because of Godin. He was the only player that was performing pretty well from Phoenix Esports, and maybe watching him perform, the other players as well got a bit of a motivation. There's a possibility.
When one of your friend is in the zone, and he spreads out the zone to the rest of the members.
I mean, hey, that's a good position if you're in the zone, right?
Akashi Seijiro.
What?
Reminds me of that.
Or are you speaking gibberish?
You've got to watch Kuroko no Basket in order to understand that reference, but quite a lot of people out there would eventually know. Nothing. It's just a plot point which I don't want to explain.
But hold on, though. Genesis. Oh, against that one isolated man of K9 Esports. And Genesis, do they know? Do they know that they are stepping foot towards that one man of K9 Esports? And Slug, his position still uncompromised. That's what I think. Slug is inside of this fuel pump. He's inside of the station, and no one knows. The entirety of Genesis Esports right in front. And I'm pretty sure the only reason why Genesis Esports stopped at this fuel station is to get their fuel up in the vehicles.
Probably. They're going to run back. All right, fair. That's fair. Ninja Boy was somewhere around the corner as well, and the only good thing is that he did not make any noise. Slug asked him to stop for a while the rest of the members of Genesis refueled and run back. It's going to be fine. They're going to be safe.
I guess the best thing for K9 Esports is that they've got 2 players still alive. It was supposed to be just 1 man alive, but luckily enough, Sol was not able to find that one straggler who was knocked out right underneath that cliff.
A free point, or rather 2 points, because it was still in the first circle, so yeah.
Missed out from Sol. I'm pretty sure when they go back and watch the VOD, they will be pretty mad.
Oh my god, just some free points out here which we could not grab, but it's absolutely fine. Having a look at the circle right now.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's a pretty solid start for K9 Esports as well.
After a long time, considering they're on the third page.
Took down 3 players of Hero Extreme Godlike, and they also managed to take down 3 players of TWOB. That's 12 points right there.
I'm still saying, though, they've got an opportunity to try and get the bounty on Jonathan. I'd still say.
That's still a possibility.
If they decide to take the same path.
Yeah, that same road, that same route.
Yeah, just go for it at this point.
Sometimes I feel a bit frustrated. It feels like we know so much, and they just don't know anything. Because that right there is 10 points, and we know exactly what they need to do to try and claim that. But poor them. They don't.
Unfortunate.
Doesn't it make you feel a bit devilish because you know everything?
It does. Obviously,
and they don't know anything.
That's the reason why we can keep on saying
you are
stuff
breathing
like
in my world.
Oh my god. For now, Marco's Gaming are breathing in the world of Mad Kings right now. The fight which was fated for the previous game, now the prophecy being fulfilled, though. Bad OP has been knocked down, so that's really the way in which they wanted that prophecy to be fulfilled.
Marcos Gaming. Bad OP's knocked out. Remaining 3 players of MG. They're still going to be able to get the revival up, so it's completely fine. All good in the hood. Mad Kings. The previous game could have actually been a chicken dinner, and just make sure that they do not really mess this one up. Because if they do, then problems will start knocking pretty hard. And speaking of problems, now Genesis Esports. They're on the move. A bit on the southern side. There's a team right next to him. And if Genesis Esports do manage to find that one man, that will be a great way to kick things off. But Phantom, he did find that punch in the gut, but it was not enough to punish the players of Genesis Esports.
Genesis after all, so...
Oh, look at his teammates app. First he looted and then gave the revival. Classic teammate. That's what happens to me every single time when I play BGMI. My teammates, first they loot, and then they give me the revival.
That's just an outage stuff happening out there. That's the best that you can see right now, though. But fight breaking out all the way up in the northern parts right now. And the members of K9 are still moving in the background. They're gonna try. They're gonna end up where Jonathan exactly is, dude. I know there's a fight in front of me, but that's a different focus that I really have right now. But still, Reaper.
What?
A big play coming in as he still knocks one down.
That was a mind-blowing knock. And now Soul, they're getting blown apart themselves. NINZA, they are somehow on the verge of winning this fight. Reaper was knocked out, but they've still got players like Poco up in the fray, and even Poco's now taking a bit too much damage. Beard Baba all the way on the opposite side, and NINZA, tables flipped against him. Oh, Soul, the positioning inside of the fight, they were so quick with the formation, and NINZA just never saw this coming. The positioning from Soul was perfect. Ended up pinching the players of NINZA.
This time it's Knuckle to start things off as well in that manner.
There's a reason the man's called Batman.
Give him the time to prepare and he will always find a way to win.
He's here to save Soul City.
It's still the daytime though.
This Batman works in day. Hey, look, there can't be two Batmans at night, right? One Batman has to work at day. And
you
Knuckle
call that
works in daytime.
Superman?
No, that's still a Batman. Fine.
Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright. Still gonna try and loot every single thing up that he eventually can, you know. I was actually seeing the rotation coming in from K9 as well down towards the south where Jonathan was eventually. But Slug was caught in the crossfire between both of these teams. He eventually got picked off. So Ninja Boy had to just hold his ground down. He's currently still a little bit up north. If you really look at the entire positioning, Mad Kings are going to be super happy as to where they are. And my, oh my. If you really are interested onto seeing specific teams like Godlike, Genesis, Soul, or Revenant X-Park, then you've got the multicam feature exclusively on Geo Hotstar. You can just watch their perspective and you can...
Yeah, you can watch Soul get eliminated.
You can watch Soul get eliminated from Ninja Boy again, K9. I absolutely love this.
The moment you get the second shot of life, that's where you make sure you make that shot worth it.
Good night.
And now it feels like the man himself will be eliminated soon! That was a quick U-turn! But it was not successful.
Nice try.
That was kind of funny if you think about it. The moment Ninja Boy realized, he was like, oh no.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hell no!
Let's back away. That U-turn was so quick.
That indeed was something right out of Looney Tunes, but yeah. Pretty funny if you think about it. Now, 8-bit as well, making their way inside the circle. They've got Marcos gaming up in front of them. Then there's also Mad Kings right in the next compound. NoNx, they've got a pretty decent position as of now. But I'm not quite sure for how long would they be able to hold it. Revenant X-Park on the other side. Down towards the southwestern off-center part. Playing on a 2-2 split, so... if OG or Global Esports decide to make a bounce on either one of them, yeah, things are going to get difficult.
As of now, the OG is still playing pretty pinned. They've got the one spot, they've got the one compound, one man a bit split towards that southern side, which is Aru. And OG's pretty happy with that given position, which is completely fine. They're on the edge of the zone. In my opinion, it's not the best possible spot that you can have. But I don't really see a lot of possible ways OG can try and go for a fight and claim a better spot.
They'd probably have to wait for the circle for this shift. Either they're going to pick a fight against RNTX or they're going to go all the way up north to take a fight against NoNx. And the circle shifts up north as well. Sensei is going to go for the call exactly to rendezvous with two of the members who are inside the circle right now. And then they will hold down any team who's going to barge in from down south. Genesis will also have to leave their compounds. The only good thing for them is that on the eastern side, there's only Stranglers and one of them just gets picked off. And of course, is going to be happy about Jonathan delivering him the goods. Something that Jonathan pulled in the last game against Marcos Gaming. This time, 4TR pulled it against him. And Revenant X-Park eventually able to eliminate the members of Global Esports. At least Fury right there though. Fierce in an instant just gets deleted by Atanki. And now Revenant X Park. They move to take the circle. Sensei moves up with Fury and Trace. It was a big play coming in.
Indeed. Genesis Esports. Hunters in the far. And now Genesis, they've realized things might be late. They need to move up inside of the safe zone. But the way things are, if Genesis Esports does not move in right now, then it will be a bit too late.
Yep.
And Genesis will suffer. But at the same time, they need to get rid of the foes right behind him, which is OG. And OG, they're ready to strike in full force. All the 4 players grouped up. They've got the smokes laid out as well. They know there is someone consistently watching them. And to try and break this watch, OG needs to pull out a bait move.
How?
But that also means sacrificing one of your men, and that is the move that I was talking about. Look at Atanki. The man's moved up all the way in the back, and these shots are going to reveal the position at Genesis Esports, and OG's going to take the same route now. All the players exiting from that back area. Genesis Esports completely unaware that there is still one more man from OG in that compound, but eventually even he follows that same path. But OG, for them, the problem's not done yet. Now they collide against the players of Revenant X Park, and this will be real problematic. But since there's also Genesis Esports from the sidelines, problems are being faced from both the sides. But OG, they are just in a better spot. They've got the advantage, and OG's going to make that send. They've already found the first 2 knockouts, and that's a major advantage OG's gained over the players of Revenant X Park. And now that one last man, Trace, he's going to back away and try to run away for safety. OG, they've already gained the cover. They've already gained the ground. And the final man of Revenant X Park, Trace God, I highly doubt he can survive for too long, but he's still somehow alive. How is this possible out in the open? The man was taking so much damage.
That's such a big ban coming in. Just wanted to try and survive out there. Eventually will be claimed as well. But my question is again, OG knew where Genesis was. Still, AK and Visgod, they were out in the open. Now it's Atanki and Aru who are eventually going to try and hold down this push of Genesis as Hunter sends out the nade as well. One in his feet, but he still wins the fight against Atanki. As OG will be wiped out by Genesis. And they get the bounty.
Oh, insane stuff. Genesis Esports. How often do you see a team with the bounty on top of their heads eliminating another team with a bounty? And OG, after getting dismantled in such a way, that's not going to be a good look for them. Neither mentally nor physically in the overall standings.
Genesis, on the other hand, though, will be extremely happy about that. Now, it's going to be 8-bit finally making a pounce against the members of Marcos Gaming. Mad Kings will go for this third party. Or rather, they should go for this third party. 3 members out here right now as Raiden will eventually join in the fray as well. He's ready and in position to try and give that revival while Beast and his power. They're going to try and throw out all of that utility. Maybe to have a lucky knockout here up in front. You can't really break the walls out here right now. The crossfire in this building is very hard to break.
It indeed is. His power tossing the C4. It's not going to do anything. Marcos Gaming still, they seem pretty fine. All the 4 men of Marcos Gaming still standing and scared. We all know what happens when Marcos Gaming is alive in the final few moments, right? They somehow always spring back up with a chicken dinner. And right now might just be one of those moments. Marcos Gaming is the only team with a solid cover to play with, while 8-bit's in the outskirts trying to fight through. And Marcos Gaming, they've got the defense laid out as well. They can actually stop 8-bit pretty well. There's Mad Kings next to 8-bit. There's so many teams 8-bit still needs to take care of before pouncing on Marcos.
Exactly.
And the moment they pounce on top of Marcos, there's also going to be a third party, and I'm pretty sure 8-bit's aware of that. 8-bit is probably thinking, they're thinking what they need to do, what they can try and pull off to actually eliminate Marcos Gaming, get their spot at the same time, and make sure they're not eliminated themselves with the third party.
There's so many off angles to play in this one building, right? That's the big thing. That's why you can't really make your pounce over here right now. NoNx, they were all the way over towards the western fray. Genesis, they're slowly and steadily taking that space away, eventually getting a knock onto Rapido. That's a pretty solid play coming in from Genesis, as we know. As soon as they get a knock, they eventually make that bounce. Finish.
Genesis. There we go! They kickstart things! Ghana down as well! Within a flash, 2 men down of NoNx. And now NoNx just left with the remaining 2. Anonymous in the back. Actually, just make that 1. And that's Anonymous. And I'm pretty sure soon he's going to be Anonymous in the lobby as well. The final man of NoNx.
The big thing coming here is that even though Genesis, they were able to get 3 knocks onto the members of NoNx, 2 of those were eventually stolen by NINZA. So even Mad Kings are trying to grab a few scraps here and there. Anonymous is still moving all the way out in the center of the circle. He's going to try and survive out there. Clutch God, he's got his crosses locked onto that man. All he needs to do is just try and grab that fun though. Wait a bit. They've decided to leave Marcos Gaming. They've decided to go and fight against the members of Mad Kings. That's going to be big as Clutch God. He's already been taken down by Anonymous. That's big. His power moves up close and personal as well. NINZA still holds it down. Able to get 2 knocks on the other side as he saves his team from survival. Make it 3. He's destroying 8-bit and alone he stands.
NINZA, it's a fire that reignites. And this man is now turning into a volcano, erupting against the foes that pushed against him. Mad King's going insane in this one single fight. And this one King, NINZA, he made sure that the foes will pay the price of the mistakes they're committing. An explosive performance from NINZA before getting taken down himself. But now Genesis Esports, they've got too much control. This seems like a Genesis Esports' game unless Marcos Gaming once again surprises us. There are still these 2 individual players from 4TR and Global Esports. And INF he just messed up that Molotov, unfortunately tossed up right on himself. And a well-placed nade from Veron's going to find the confirmation against that 1 man of 4TR. Global Esports, back-to-back good games. Consistent games so far. In this one, maybe not a lot of points, but what matters is the consistency and the average. And Global Esports, they're constantly hitting that mark. Genesis in the front, tossing out the utilities in the hopes of maybe finding that connection, and they finally do. Now they've eliminated everyone in the sidelines, and Genesis Esports, all they can focus on is now the compound in the front. It is a 4-on-4 between Genesis and Marcos. And for some reason, I'm a believer in Marcos.
I would have gone for the exact same thing right now, but Genesis have got too much space to work around with, and this nade is absolutely brilliant from Hunters. If it's not for Hunters, I would have said it's Marcos, but he falls down on his knees as well as Gyro God in the open. He's able to find one quickly, but it's 1-for-1 trade coming in from both the teams, so it's still a 3v3.
Still being played perfectly. You never know whose game it's going to be in the end. I love that positioning from Gyro God. He was able to thread that needle, he was able to thread that final knock. But even he gets knocked out himself. Gyro God messes up big time in Genesis. They take the advantage of that. Fight taken down with 2v3 on paper. It's impossible for Marcos to win this. The Blues on the move. It's going to force the players of Marcos Gaming soon. And that's where Genesis will have the maximum advantage. Naughty and bad. These 2 final men. How can they break free of the claws of Genesis? This is a deadlock. And Marcos Gaming trapped in that lock. To break through the shackles, Marcos Gaming needs to be extremely strong, and right now they seem weak. Constant barrage of utilities is really keeping the players of Marcos Gaming in that house, and now just engulfed with the flames, another nade tossed to perfection, and that Molotov's gonna do the deed. As it is the players of Genesis Esports to claim a chicken dinner with another banger. They claim the bounty and claim the chicken dinner. That should be around, what, 40 points?
35 bare minimum points considering the amount of eliminations that they've got. Absolute fantastic approach from Genesis. Clearing out everything down south and then moving up. Finishing off OG as well, picking them apart one after the other. And then utilizing the opportunity so very well. My God, their spread was so good, stealing away the entire map from Marcos. and then gatekeeping them to perfection. The layers of flanks was what got them this win.
Bangers after bangers, and Genesis Esports just never fails. Once again, Genesis Esports proving exactly what they're capable of. But let's move on to the stage for a quick interview, and we'll be right back on the other side.
ईगो बुरी चीज है, ये हम लोग सुनते हुए आए हैं, लेकिन कभी कभी अगर आपके पास वो स्किल हो, वो टैलेंट हो अपने ईगो को बैक करने के लिए, then that becomes a chip on your shoulder. Genesis चिकन डिनर उठाते हुए एंड हंटर्स की बोली हुई वो बात याद आ गई कुछ दिन पहले, where I asked him on this very stage, क्या लगता है आपको, who are the teams that are not deserving? अब उसी टीम को आके खत्म करना फिर से, well, here comes Hunters. सबसे पहले congratulations brother, आप लोगों को एक और चिकन डिनर मिला है. यू ऑल्सो कंसोलिडेटेड योर पोजीशन. मैं बार बार ये पूछता हूँ बिकॉज अब हम लोग वो मिडिल फेज में हैं जहां पे हर टीम जो है वो आगे बढ़ना चाहती है क्वालिफिकेशन की तरफ. वाज दैट एन इजी गेम फॉर यू द वे यू प्लेड?
इजी था, जोन फेवर कर गया और बाउंटी भी मिल गई ओजी की. हम लोग को ओजी का मतलब एक बंदा मारा, उसके बाद हमने मतलब ज़्यादा एक्सटेंड इसलिए करा क्योंकि हम लोग को पता था मतलब बाउंटी है, तो ज़्यादा मतलब घुस के ही मारे. फिर ऐसा हो गया कि मतलब हम लोग ने ज़्यादा स्प्रेड होके खेल लिए तो अच्छा गेम निकल गया वहाँ से. फिर नॉनएक्स को भी मतलब अच्छा मारे, तो वहाँ से मतलब ज़्यादा स्प्रेड लेने की वजह से हमको जोन फेवर कर गया और वहाँ से हमने जोन कन्वर्ट कर लिया मतलब गेम.
कुछ दिन पहले हमने पूछा था तुमसे और तुमने TWOB का नाम लिया था, उनको पूरी तरीके से ध्वस्त किया है. डू यू वांट टू चेंज दैट और डू यू अरे भाई पहले ही कह देता है कि नहीं मैं चेंज नहीं करना चाहता. सो व्हाट इज इट? इज इट अबाउट देयर गेम? क्या उनका खेलने का तरीका अच्छा नहीं है, या तुम्हें लगता है दे जस्ट लैक दैट एक्स फैक्टर?
मतलब लग रहा है थोड़ा, मतलब उन लोग का ऐसा मतलब गेम नहीं है जैसा होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे मतलब CS में ऐसी टीम है जो ज़्यादा डिजर्विंग है उनसे.
और आपकी कुछ एक्स टीम्स हैं जिन्होंने आप पर डाउट किया था, और अब आपकी परफॉर्मेंस, आपकी टीम की पोजीशन, इस तरीके से आपका रुतबा है, क्या अब आप अपनी पुरानी टीम्स को कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
पुरानी टीम्स को तो कुछ नहीं कहना चाहूँगा, बस जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. और एक और IGL था, वही पुरानी टीम से, तो वो भी वापस साथ में आ गए, तो परफॉर्मेंस आ रहा है अभी.
Hunter's doing what he does best, which is hunt his opponents down. लेकिन यहाँ पे अलग तरीके का हंटिंग चल रही है, भूचाल आया हुआ है, हलचल मची हुई है, because there's something happening we don't know anything about. शायद उसका पर्दाफाश होने वाला है बस कुछ ही देर में. That's coming after the break.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test, proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You forgot to charge your phone. Why won't you wake up?
हम बिगिनिंग हमेशा नहीं था स्टार यूसी लेने से पहले सोचता था 100 बार डर था बड़ा स्कैम्स का डाउट थे हजार तो प्ले ओपी आया तो लगाई नया पर तो मैंने लिया यूसी सेव गेम किया रेस प्ले मेरे साथ यहाँ ड्रॉप्स एकदम हार्ड प्ले तेरे साथ ओपी तू भी कर ले स्टार्ट
The day started off with Global Esports dominating and getting the chicken dinner, and now it's Genesis Esports that claimed the bounty and the chicken dinner at the same time. And if you really try to calculate that, man, that's a lot of points, right? But hey, something that you guys can try and take advantage of is also going to be this Dravian X suit that is just starting at 10 UC, and you can unlock it right now. That's crazy, right? It's also a limited time offer, so I'd recommend you guys to do it instantly.
I mean, that's an opportunity you need to pounce on, just like Genesis pounced on their opportunity to get that chicken dinner. But I'll have to say, one of the key highlight moments for me in that previous game was definitely Ninja. With the way how that one man held onto the ground entirely against 8-bit, absolutely fantastic.
And look at the MVP of that game. It's going to be Ninja with 5 finishes and 100% finish contribution. Matt Kings for them. Ninja was the only saving grace, and he's the only one that got any sort of elimination points for the team. So that is kind of good for Ninja, but kind of bad for the entire team because they're supposed to perform at the same level. But if you move on towards the stars of the match, there's definitely going to be a few new faces over here, since we might see someone from Genesis Esports. And yes, of course, Genesis Esports' Zap is going to be there as the best companion and also as the finisher.
Good game coming in from Genesis overall, if you really think about it, right? Because 8-bit, Mad Kings, as well as Marcos Gaming, all three of them were over up in North, where Marcos and Mad Kings, they were kind of in a stalemate. Both of them had their own individual compounds. So 8-bit had to decide to make a pounce onto one of them. They chose Mad Kings. That was one of the worst decisions that they could have picked at that moment.
Look, honestly speaking, good game's an understatement. That was a nuclear performance from Genesis Esports.
Yep.
The amount of points they managed to grab is insane. I mean, just imagine. They grabbed the bounty, they grabbed the chicken dinner, and also had a remarkable amount of elimination points to topple that. So, has to be somewhere around 35 to at least 30 plus points, without a doubt.
I'm expecting a 30-point bomber as well at the bare minimum. Just with the way how they were playing. The only slight bit of disadvantage for them is the fact that they didn't really have any major points in the power play itself. So that's where you might see those double points not going in. But yeah, Charo, he had a good position over that building, but eventually he was flanked up as well. So he had to reposition. That's what he didn't do.
Charo unfortunately slipped. And the moment he fell down, it was a free knockout for the players of Genesis Esports. That's 32 points right there. A massive performance from Genesis Esports. No matter what you're trying to say, it's going to be less. But Phoenix Esports this time around getting 14 points themselves and on the second spot in the match rankings, which is absolutely insane. K9 Esports, even this was one of those teams that took the advantage of the power play. And look at them on the second spot. And this is why we keep on saying, take advantage of the power play. If you're not doing so, you are pretty much gambling your whole stats in the overall board.
That's exactly what's happening for Revenant X-Park, Godlike, and also NINZA. I mean, NINZA being one of the teams that is trying to take those early fights, but it's just not going in their favor right now. So they're constantly slipping down in the position. And here we go. Genesis with that big play now take up the lead against Revenant X-Park, 268 to 252 with 2 games to spare.
Insane stuff. And now that Revenant X-Park, they've lost their spot. They cannot even do anything with that. Genesis Esports already starting things off with a remarkable and an iconic move in the overall standings. Then you've also got OG right there still on the third spot. No moves over there. Hero Extreme Godlike still on the fourth. The top eight's looking pretty much the same. K9 Esports' performance was decent in that previous game, so maybe we might see them do a bit better. But as we flip the page on the second page as well, not really a lot of moves. You do see Marcus Gaming move up a bit, but I highly doubt it's going to make any sort of difference.
Yeah, they've already played 24 games, right? The teams below them, at least the next 5, they're all at 22. So we're probably going to see all of them make a move since the gap is not that high. Only 10 to 15 points match to match.
Phoenix is not last.
But yeah, Phoenix finally is not last right now. But they'll be having to focus down against Reckoning themselves. 109, 108, just 1 point gap between both of these teams. But you were talking about K9 Esports. They've taken a decent leap right now to 18th spot. But I still feel that they need to do a lot better, man. Their name needs to stay in the top 8 and not in the bottom 8.
Look, the minimum goal is to be at least in the top 12.
Yes.
Right? Because we know the teams from 5th to 12th spot, they're directly going to proceed towards the semifinals, and then the top 4 directly towards the grand finals. So the bare minimum is to get in the 12th. So for now, though, we've got an important announcement for you guys, which is the Duolingo English test, which is accepted and trusted by 6,000 plus universities. So I'd recommend you guys to move on and take that test and let us know how it went.
I mean, to be honest, I want to give it a try as well at this point, but it's a pretty lengthy test, so I don't know how that's going to go out, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
But hey, you know what's scared? What's going to be on the horizon now? It's a short break. You guys do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with after a short break with the upcoming matchup.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag. We have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
ट्यूसडे का दिन 2 मैचेस हो चुके हैं. एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आपका BGMS सीजन 4 में. 2 मैचेस बाकी हैं और इससे पहले कि हम उन 2 मैचेस की तरफ बढ़े, आपके साथ, ऑडियंस के साथ कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो शेयर करनी है. जैसा कि आपने देखा जेनिस, अरे ऑफिसर साहब, आप यहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं? यहाँ तो गेम चल रही है सर.
तो पूछ के आएंगे यहाँ पे हैं? चलो वो बात छोड़िए. हमारा नाम है ऑफिसर कार्की और कुछ दिन पहले कुछ प्लेयरों को उठाया था हमने. टिप आई थी, शोर मचा रहे थे. अब देख रहे हैं ये स्टेज पे बैठे भी हैं, कंपीट भी कर रहे हैं. आज सोचा मैंने इनका परफॉर्मेंस का ना रिपोर्ट कार्ड निकलवाए, तो आ गए हम.
रिपोर्ट? आपने बीच में सॉरी बट कस्टडी भी बोला, तो क्या हुआ कस्टडी में सर?
बोला ना टिप आई थी. अब टिप आई है, शोर मचा रहे तो उठा लिया. कस्टडी में बुलाया, सवाल जवाब करे, हार्श इंटेरोगेशन किया है, हार्श. और ऐसे खुफिया जवाब निकाले ना, हैरान हो जाओगे तुम सब।
तो ये जो आपने इंटरोगेशन की है, अगर हमें, सिर्फ पूछ रहा हूँ आपसे, हमें देखनी है तो
सबसे बढ़िया बात यही है।
अच्छा,
पूरे का पूरा जो लिखा चिक्का सारा रिकॉर्डेड है हमारे पास कैमरा पे,
तो हम देख सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल। भाई चार्जशीट का पहला एपिसोड ये लीजिए आपके सामने। बैटलग्राउंड्स की दुनिया में कुछ ऐसे खिलाड़ी हैं जिन पे तरह तरह के सवाल किए जाते हैं। आज उनमें से कुछ खिलाड़ी हमारी कस्टडी में भी हैं। आज उनसे पूछताछ करेंगे, सारे सवालों से पर्दे हटाएंगे। नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है मन्नू कार्की एंड वेलकम टू चार्जशीट। AKOP कुछ हो गया चाय पानी? असली नाम
अंकित आलोक शुक्ला,
उम्र
23 साल।
किस टीम में खेलते हैं अंकित आप?
द ओजी ओरंगुटन।
लेट्स गेट डाउन टू द बेसिक अंकित। आपको पता ही होगा आप आज हमारे साथ क्यों हैं।
बस वही पता करने आया हूँ।
I'll start with a simple question. मुझे जानना यह है, क्या ओजी इंडिया की टॉप 3 बीजीएमआई टीम में आती है?
ऑफ कोर्स, हर टूर्नामेंट में टॉप 3 पोडियम फिनिश करते हैं। हर टूर्नामेंट का एमवी मैं बनता हूँ। और एक सेकेंड, हाल ही में ट्रॉफी उठाई है। मजाल है कोई बोल दे हम टॉप 3 में नहीं आते।
वो लड़का है ना एके ओजी से, वो तो कह रहा है उसकी टीम इंडिया की टॉप 3 बीजीएमआई टीम्स में आती है।
वो बंदर, वो क्या सोच रहे हैं? तो एक टूर्नामेंट जीत के इंडिया की टॉप टीम्स में आ जाएंगे? क्या मजाक है ये?
सुना तो बहुत कुछ हमने आपके बारे में भी है सोम। आपने ये बोला ना, वो टीम हु करते निकल गई, हम ट्रॉफी ले गए। ये स्टेटमेंट क्यों दिया आपने?
उनके मैनेजर साहब हमारे सामने बहुत तेज बन रहे थे। बोल रहे थे कि कुछ भी कर लो, तुम हमसे तो ऊपर नहीं आ पाओगे। ये लो, आ गए तुमसे ऊपर, स्टेज पे उठा ली ट्रॉफी और कर दिया उनका हु।
सोमराज ने सरेआम क्या ताना कसा आप पे। आज तक एक जवाब नहीं आया आपकी तरफ से। क्या मैं सोचूं जवाब है ही नहीं आपके पास?
ऑफिसर कार्की, मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मेरे माँ बाप ने मुझे बचपन में सिखा दिया है कि कोई कुछ भी बोले, मुझे अपना जवाब मेरे काम से देना है, मेरे मुंह से नहीं। और हाल ही के इवेंट में आपने परफॉर्मेंस देखी होगी मेरी, मेरा जवाब पहुंच चुका है।
क्या सर, इन्होंने 1-2 ट्रॉफी क्या जीत ली, आपने तो इन्हें सर पर ही चढ़ा दिया। आज तक इनमें से कोई कभी बीजीएमएस जीता है क्या?
वेलकम टू द चार्जशीट ट्रॉफी मैग्नेट।
मैं कोई ट्रॉफी मैग्नेट नहीं हूँ, ये नाम मुझे जनता ने दिया है एंड आई नेवर कॉल्ड माई सेल्फ दैट।
तो डिनाई भी तो नहीं किया। जब लाइमलाइट मिल रही थी तो हंस खेलकर सब ले लिया। अब ट्रॉफी आना बंद हो गई है तो ब्लेम गेम चालू।
ब्लेम गेम नहीं है, ये नाम मुझे जनता ने दिया है और बहुत ही प्यार से दिया है। अगर आप कभी लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा करेंगे और आपको कोई मेडल दे तो क्या आप उन्हें मना कर देंगे?
रेस्टो बातें मत घुमाओ। ये बताओ बीजीएमएस सीजन 4 में आपकी टीम गॉड्स रेन कैसा परफॉर्म करने वाली है?
वैसे तो मैं ज्यादा फ्यूचर के बारे में सोचता नहीं, प्रेजेंट में जीना पसंद है। बट जो चीज मैंने 2023 में सीजन 2 में करी थी, अब वही चीज रिपीट करना चाहूंगा।
ऑफिसर साहब, हमने कुछ ऑफिशियल ट्रॉफीज जीती है, कुछ अनऑफिशियल ट्रॉफीज भी जीती है, पर ये बीजीएमएस की ट्रॉफी मेरे हाथों में अभी तक नहीं आई है। मैं इस बार पीछे नहीं हटने वाला हूँ और मैं अपना पूरा जी जान लगा दूंगा। अभी 18 मैचेस में 62 फिनिशेस का रिकॉर्ड सेट करके आया हूँ। इतने तो कई टीम के पॉइंट्स नहीं थे। शेर के मुंह खून लग चुका है। जंगल में जितने शिकारी है ना, कहीं खुद शिकार ना बन जाए।
ये थे वो 3 खिलाड़ी जो अक्सर जनता की नजरों में रहते हैं। आज हमने इनसे बातचीत करी, पूछताछ की और सारे जवाब इंटेरोगेट करके निकलवाए। अभी भी खिलाड़ी रहते हैं जिनको हम इंटेरोगेट करेंगे। जानने के लिए जुड़े रहिए आप मेरे साथ। जल्द मिलेंगे चार्जशीट के अगले एपिसोड में। टिल देन, टेक केयर, गुड बाय।
Oh, that was too good. And for some reason, I was too hooked, listening to every single question and every single answer. And honestly, that's a great job done by the players and even Crad himself. So, of course, a round of applause from you guys and even from us. That was a solid interview right there. But back towards the conversation and back towards the main deal and back towards the current state. We need to try and discuss about the performance that's coming through from Reckoning Esports. Now, even Phoenix Esports is not at the bottom. They're on the second last spot. And guess who's at the bottom? Reckoning Esports. It's unacceptable since we know Reckoning Esports, it is one of those lineups that is supposed to be the champions, but still, they're struggling too much.
They certainly are in those 4v4 fights and those rotations, everything. I totally agree with what you said. Reckoning Esports, the struggle is definitely there. Earlier, it was Phoenix Esports who was struggling, but it was GOAT and he started staging a comeback. But along with that, Phoenix Esports were able to earn too many points. But you know what? The audience, you guys can also earn few rewards on every purchase with Google Play points. I'm sure, Necro, you have too many points. You're going to share few with me, but don't share with Scared, please.
No, I'm not going to share it with anyone. If I've got points, of course, I'm going to be the one to reap the benefits of that. I'm not too giving. I'm broke, so I'm going to keep whatever I've got to myself. But yeah, we've got the schedule popping up on the screen. Now the upcoming map is going to be the map of Sanhok. Just like usual, the schedule is going to be the same. But the best part is that Group C is going to be playing all the 4 games. We've already seen them play the first 2 games. And Phoenix Esports is also a part of Group C. And even Hero Extreme Godlike is a part of Group C. For Hero Extreme Godlike, the first 2 games, they weren't that great. But for Phoenix Esports, it feels like definitely the graph is going up slowly and steadily. But now that Reckoning Esports is back inside of these groups, I really do feel like Phoenix Esports might just go back all the way at the bottom.
Have you noticed one thing, Necro, since past 2 days, whatever team you criticize upon they start staging a comeback.
I know,
First,
right?
It was Genesis.
Victor Sumus.
Yeah, VS. And after that, it was Genesis, their playing style. And look where Genesis is right now. Then you started talking about the players of Phoenix Esports. Maybe from tomorrow onwards, we can see a comeback from the side of Reckoning Esports as well.
Or maybe we can see it right now itself. Since Reckoning Esports, for them, this is going to be the first game of the day. But generally speaking, I want to see Reckoning Esports and Phoenix Esports, both of them do really good. If you try and talk about these teams past, let's not forget, for Phoenix Esports, they've got some of the most known players in that lineup too. Godin, Juthin, and even Archit. Now Archit, yeah, of course, a recent addition, quite new player on the block. But if you talk about Godin and Juthin, these 2 players are the OGs, and they've also been to the official grand finals time and time over and over again.
चैलेंजर सीरीज की 2 टीम्स जो आप मास्टर सीरीज में देखना चाहते हैं।
चैलेंजर सीरीज से मास्टर सीरीज में तो मेरे हिसाब से सिंसिनाटी किड्स और विजिस्टा स्पोर्ट्स, क्योंकि एक में हेक्टर है, एक में जूसी है, बहुत ज्यादा नोन प्लेयर है, काफी टाइम से खेलते आ रहे हैं, तो मैं इन दोनों को देखना चाहता हूँ मास्टर सीरीज में।
ओके, और वो 2 टीम्स मास्टर सीरीज में जिन्हें ये दोनों टीम्स रिप्लेस कर सकती है।
एक RNDX और RNDX के साथ लिखिता स्पोर्ट्स विजिस्टा लिखिता एक साथ है ना, तो इनको स्वैप कर देते हैं।
रीजन भी बता दीजिए।
लेकिन RNDX में मतलब जिन प्लेयर्स ने उतना बड़ा नाम बनाया था वो नहीं खेल रहे ना अभी, तो अभी शायद लाइनअप चेंज जितना मेरे को आइडिया है, तो इसीलिए बस, और कोई रीजन नहीं।
Ooh, Jelly saying this current RNTX does not deserve to be here in the BGMS Season 4. They are supposed to be in the Challenger Series. Interesting. But the overall standings say something completely else. Revenant X Park is currently in the top 2. And if you look at Jelly's team, they're not even close to being the top 4.
Yeah. Seems like Jelly is the one struggling this time. I think
Yesterday's day was pretty good for Jelly, right?
Yes, compared to the previous days, yesterday was still a better day. But the entire team of True Rippers, they need to focus on the consistency. Yesterday, Q Lamau, if you remember, he was the MVP as well. They got the chicken dinner, but still the consistency has to be maintained if they really want to propel themselves in the top 4.
Without wasting any more time, the plane's gonna hit the skies once again in the rainforests of Sanhok. And this time, the plane fly path on the map of Sanhok once again starts all the way from down south, from Sami, towards the opposite side, which is Cow. This plane flat path is quite balanced, so all the teams can go towards their designated drop location in a pretty good time.
Yeah, anyway, it's the map of Sanhok. And when we have a decent flight path, that is also going to help your case. But my eyes are going to be on those drop clashes, that who exactly is going to take advantage of the power play and the bounty system. Because yesterday also, few teams tried to take those bounty points, and few teams tried to stop them in the tracks. I'm sure you remember what really happened in the last Erangel. But for now, you have got the players of Team VS going all the way towards Sami, completely uncontested. Then Aryan going for the split drop around Camp Alpha or maybe Ruins, but we do have a certain drop clash between VS and Likitha Esports, straight coming back and forth from both the sides. 2 players down from Likitha Esports.
This drop clash has been happening since the start, and Thunder's lost out from Victor Sumus, but even Likitha Esports, they've lost out on someone. It's a proper 3v3 battle, and Victorious Sumus, they're not backing away this time. They find a second knock, and also the confirmation. Likitha Esports in a big wall of trouble. Smoker in the front, the man's trapped. He does not even have a lot of HP to back himself up, and that's it! Likitha Esports, within a blink of an eye, illuminated by the players of Victorious Sumus. That's some light work. Solid stuff from Victorious Sumus. That's 8 points to kick things off with, but for FS Esports, they found themselves in hot water.
Clean flush, elimination points secured, even double elimination points secured by the players of ES. A very good head start. But we also have a drop clash in the city of High-octane, where we have got the players of FS along with 4TR. In fact, 4TR is also the one who is struggling in the overall leaderboard. But for now, Zigod holding on to an off angle. It's a DBS waiting for Morty on the other side. They have to be very careful, because one connection, one opening frag, and the entire team of FS will be charging towards God and the boys. But it is Penis Live who gets a first connection onto the players of FS. Even Morty gets a trade. Back and forth race coming in, and every God gets a second one also onto Roman.
FS Esports, the only reason why they're winning this fight is because of these few individuals that are trying to get something done. But 4TR, they're constantly replying back in style. FS Esports, they've lost out on 3 players so far. Too many men down. And 4TR for them. Zigod in the back lines. Even the man's trying to now crawl back to safety, but it's impossible. 4TR's got more men up, and that's something 4TR can try and take advantage of. And if 4TR ends up winning this fight as well, that's going to be quick work. But FS Esports, they've made sure that even 4TR is going to face the brunt. The fight's taken down to a 2v2, but the man from FS Esports, he's taken down extremely low, and Lovish is doing a great job keeping the players of 4TR off at bay. 4TR, at the end of the day, they still do have the HP advantage against the players of FS Esports, and that's something they can try and abuse. Especially with the way things are looking right now. In my opinion, 4TR should have made that pounce much more earlier. But 4TR are scared of the shotguns, and that makes a lot of sense too.
Even those grenades are really deadly, which Lavish is trying to lob towards the side of 4TR. FS versus 4TR. Both the teams on the struggling side. Because if you look at the leaderboard, FS is somewhere on the 19th spot, 4TR on the 20th spot. Not in a good position at all. So this fight was really important for both these teams. But seems like FS, they are on the losing end. But those grenades can come really handy. But the problem is just a single grenade in the hands of Lavish. They are short on those utils as well.
Pretty much. FS Esports. These two players, Lovish and Rushboy. And since 4TR, they've got 3 men up. Or actually all the 4 players up in life. 4TR's got a massive man advantage, and if they group up and make that pounce at the same time, 4TR will be unstoppable. But this hesitation, for some reason, it's going to cost them those extra power play points if they do not make the pounce right now. 4TR should go for it instantly. Power play is active. You've still got 3 minutes left on the clock. You can make the most out of it.
But here's the thing, when a team is on the struggling end, they lack the confidence, and that is why the hesitation is there. Also the fact that it is DBS waiting on the other side. Also,
S12K.
Sorry?
It's S12K. Both the players, they've got S12K in their hands.
Yeah, the shotgun is waiting on the other side, and that could also be the reason for the hesitation. And Zigod this time, he has got 3 grenades, trying to find the information that where exactly the players of FS are. No connection whatsoever. The players are still holding on to their angles, and seems like 4TR slowly and steadily they are losing the patience, and they really want to charge in. This grenade is going to be really important, but seems like no connection at all. Not even a chip damage.
Yeah, but Zigod, the man's constantly flinging in those nades. The second nade does do a bit of that chip damage, but it's still not enough to force the players outside of their comfort zone. He's got an explosive bow, though. Maybe this can be something that can create a bit of that difference. 4TR, the biggest difference maker for them is the man advantage they've got. And they can honestly abuse it pretty well. And especially now that they've got the explosive bow to play with, they can easily make sure that the man who's holding down the staircase will back away. They can keep on arrowing that staircase over and over again until the man gets chipped down pretty low. But Rushboy, this man is possessing that constant threat. They tossed out from Lovish. It's not going to find any sort of success. Morty's all the way in the back. He's holding down the window. And look at Zegod. Spamming that explosive bow is not going to find any connection. And at this point, Zegod should know there's no one on the other side. They've probably moved up. And 4TR should try and push up a bit as well.
They don't have the proper armor as well. Look at Zegod. He has just got a level 1 helmet. And that's the reason for the hesitation. No healings, nothing at all.
Yeah, but still, trade game is something that can save 4TR.
I agree. But sometimes those S12K shots are really deadly. Even a spray from M416 at a perfect angle can do the job.
Well, that way you've only got 40 seconds to take the advantage of the power play. And if you don't claim these 2 final finishes, you won't be able to get 8 points. You will just need to be satisfied with 4.
Oh, no.
And that's not a good thing at all. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock, and 4TR needs to move in right now. This has to be the go call. Another man's taken down extremely low. The Molotov, the flames, they start to spread. But FS Esports, they might actually be able to deny the power play points. 4TR, they can actually get extra elimination points if they eliminate them within the next 10 seconds. But now the chances of that happening, it's impossible. Power play points denied from FS Esports. That's well played. And for some reason, 4TR, if they would have reunited, they could have actually played a proper trade game and traded each other out pretty well. But confidence lacking, not confident in themselves and their approach. And that's why 4TR now, they won't be able to get those 4 points anymore. Now they will just be able to get 2 points.
And this is the team of Zegod, a guy who was once upon a time so confident in those 4v4 fights under his previous banner. Pain is live, a guy who has been getting those opening frags for the players of 4TR so many times in the past. And what if now FS actually turns the table around and eliminates the players of 4TR? That would be a double win-win situation for the players of FS. Not only they deny the power play points, but also got few extra finish points for themselves and maybe placement points because the circle is also favoring them.
There's a possibility, but Rushboy does not really have any meds.
Yeah.
And the man's taken down extremely low, but still if Rushboy is able to find even 1, the job's done. But technically both the players need to find 2. That's the only way the clutch can still be possible. And FS Esports, now they know 4TR's running thin on patient. They toss out the smoke to try and block the vision. Lovish does find 1, but Rushboy, he does not have enough HP. They should have done this before.
I'm sure even the players of 4TR are not happy. I have no idea who was making the call. What was the mindset behind that decision to not rush onto the players of FS? They knew that they have the numbers advantage. Yes, the armor was not there. Yes, S12K was there on the other end. But the numbers advantage was there with the players of 4TR. Like you said, they could have gone for the trade game, which they eventually did. They could have done the same thing in the power play itself.
Yeah, they could have pretty much utilized that smoke grenade the same way, push up, and play for the trade game. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questionable decisions these days that the players are taking, especially even that Phoenix Esports decision that we saw in the game 1 itself.
Yeah.
They could have actually claimed the bounty. There could have been a possible chance. It was a 1v1, but the man did not go for it, and then in the end got taken down by the play zone. These questionable decisions really make you question what's going wrong with the banner. But hold on to that thought. Maichi lost Hermanos. This is another one of those teams that possesses a great threat to the lobby. Spy pushes up. He finds that pixel. Henry wants to get the revival on the fallen comrade, and the man's actually going to go for the stick as well. But from the back, Team Aryan, that's some great support fire. As Cyrax finds the knockout, but Spy is still barely alive.
Team Aryan trying to do more, but first they need to patch themselves up. Even the players of 8-bit trying to traverse from the northern end, but look at that, Maiji Kalan, the guy is also in the close fray. Gets a perfect knock onto one of the player of Team Aryan, but that too in the long range. So there is a chance of a revival or rescue mission coming in, and that is exactly what the players of Team Aryan are doing. But we also have a situation between 8-bit and Phoenix Esports.
Oh, this is awkward. Archit's position known. And 8-bit, they've pushed up close and personal against the compound. Maiji lost Hermanos. Now they're getting ripped apart even from the back by the players of Global Esports. This is not good for Mighty Los Hermanos. They lost one from Team Aryan, now losing another one from Global Esports. Mighty Los Hermanos with not a lot of men on the board. And Jahan is the only man standing for Phoenix Esports. We talked about having good games for Phoenix, but the moment we talk about that, Phoenix Esports, they instantly mess up the other one. And now Jahan, the only man, barely surviving. He's got the US 12K to back him up, but there's a man up close and personal with that same weapon who possesses the similar amount of threat. And this time, the opposing team has got more confidence as Jahan falls apart.
8-bit, 3 finish points secure, 2 players down, but should be an easy one. Revival, but wait a second, we also have the players of Metal Esports. And if Metal decides to rush at this point, 8-bit, they are not ready for this fight. They are certainly not ready for a 4v4 fight. And Metal is actually giving time to the players of 8-bit to go for a reset. But Phoenix Esports, where is the consistency?
I'm pretty sure the only reason why Metal Esports actually backed away is because they were not able to keep track of the elimination feed. Raiden's actually taken away to his death, and soon the man's going to be confirmed. There's no way 8-bit's going to be able to save that player. And that's the straggler down. 8-bit's now taken down to a 3-man squad as Metal Esports has all the 4 players standing. Metal Esports has got the man advantage. This is Metal's fight to lose. But I'm pretty sure Metal Esports is not going to go for that direct pounce. A 3-on-4 is still quite easy to be executed.
But it's actually Aimbot who is leading the charge. The guy who clutched the map of Sanhok against the players of Mad Kings itself. So Aimbot does have the capability to do a lot of damage to the side of 8-bit. But speaking about the players of Mad Kings, Apollo is the guy who has done 1v2, 1v3. Some unbelievable performance has been delivered by this guy. But in the overall ranking, Mad Kings has also been on the struggling side in the past few days. Recently started staging a comeback, especially by Apollo. But for now, they are trying to traverse inside the circle from the southern end. And in doing so, they might clash against the players of Reckoning Esports as well.
Reckoning. Both the players in the far back, Viper and Dionysus. Viper right around that compound wall, now repositions himself towards the opposite. But he's still quite exposed, and luckily enough, Shadow's not going for the shots. Shadow has all the right to go for the shots, but Shadow needs to be careful himself. He's still exposed, and this is what I was talking about. Shadow, get back in the cover first! That was a rookie mistake from an experienced player. Shadow messed up, and now Global Esports too. They mess up big time. 2 players picked off instantly from Metal Esports. And there's still the hurt 8-bit right next to him. Aquanoxy moves up a little bit. Beast is taken down low. S-Power up close and personal around that vehicle. Aimbot's cooking up a nade to perfection. If this nade finds the connection, that's going to be a massive advantage in the hands of Metal Esports. And 8-bit will be in trouble. But luckily enough, 8-bit, they back away instantly. They realize the depth of the situation, and they let the Metal Esports players do their thing.
Global Esports, that was a big mess up. I thought they had the surprise factor because they were trying to traverse from the eastern side of the circle where the players of Metal Esports were keeping an eye onto the players of 8-bit.
But even bigger than that, it was Shadow's mess up.
Yeah.
What was he doing? He literally saw him cross out in the open, then stood out in the open, took those shots, and got knocked out himself. First, always find cover. If you're out in the open, and if you've got an option to get back inside of the cover, go for it. That's the extra advantage you can have inside of a fight. But yeah, that rookie mistake, it's literally going to be a death situation for Mad Kings. Now just having 3 players on the block, that's rough. Hero Extreme Godlike, first 2 games weren't that great. And this one as well, it seems like it's not going to be that great either. Because it's Metal Esports making that pounce. And Metal, somehow, they're dismantling Hero Extreme Godlike. And Mina falls down. Even Jonathan follows up that same fray. Hero Extreme Godlike down 3 players. But now Simp is the only man standing. And Simp, a solo man, can't really do a lot against the entirety of Metal Esports. But this Metal Esports, they're just a completely different aura.
Tommy is still holding on to that angle. It's not only Hero Extreme Godlike, but also the players of True Rippers in the close proximity. And Tommy has to stop the players of True Rippers at the distance because The players of Middle are actually going for the revival. Even the players of Genesis are also going up against the players of Canaan. But wait a second, Termi has got a height advantage and 2 Molotovs. They are enough to stop the players of True Rippers. But those grenades, those utils are a problem for Middle at this point. And look at True Rippers, how they surrounded the players of Middle. It is also the players of 8-bit which can do a third party. And look at 2 players down from the side of Middle Esports.
Middle Esports, Venom knocked out. The remaining 2 players, Scout OP and Termi in the back. And Scout, he's going to be in the smack center, but he's taken down extremely low. The vehicle spins out in the open. He could not do anything. Middle Esports, even now, they're getting absolutely torn apart. Termi in the back, even he gets picked off. And that's going to be it for Middle and their wrath in this game. Team Aryan, somehow, all the players are still intact.
With 10 finishes also. All the 4 players alive. Team Aryan has been doing pretty decent for themselves in this particular one. Middle eliminated on the 7th spot, but it's still a hybrid circle. And Necro, I've been spending a lot of time with the players. I had a chat with Dionysus, and he was like, this is going to be their day. I asked him, what's the reason for the downfall? He said, just watch our game today. It seems like now they're left with only 1 player. Even today is not a day for the players of Reckoning. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, well, fine, I guess. I don't exactly know what to say around that. To be honest, it feels like now things might be a little bit late for Reckoning Esports to wake up, but if they do decide to wake up, they need to start taking advantage of the power play and the bounty system as well. They need to start hunting down teams, just like how Flock got hunted. He actually got eliminated by the play zone, so luckily enough, at least he denied that 1 point. 4TR, 3 men still alive. It's an interesting position to be in for 4TR. It's not one of the best possible spots, but still something they can work with. Team Aryan and their position, quite questionable. 2 players pretty far away inside of the zone, while 2 players all the way down south around that bridge. And now finally those 2 players as well, they decide to squeeze themselves in. This has to be Genesis Esports' game. Yeah. We've seen this similar circle, and in the past it was Hero Extreme Godlike who was holding that center and that compound.
Yeah, they do have the compound advantage, and they have all the 4 players alive and the momentum which Genesis has been having from the last few days. But here's the thing, if the players of 8-bit and Team Aryan decide to charge into that same compound, then maybe things can change for the players of Genesis. But for now, 8-bit with that smoker trying to go up against the players of Team Aryan. Both the teams pretty decent performing in the map of Sanhok, but Beast out in the open takes a lot of damage from the side of Aryan himself. A single grenade can actually take the guy down, and Beast has to fall back, but the cavalry is there. Equinox providing all the backline support. Finds a knock, counter knock onto Aryan. Henry is still holding on to an aggressive angle. Devotee has to go for the revival as well, but first he needs to patch himself. Beast with those grenades is actually creating a lot of trouble for those 2 men of Team Aryan.
4TR, they're still in quite the discomfort. Team Aryan as well, the same thing can be said. Constant nade parade. That's really keeping them on the edge. Devotee, this return nade has to find the mark. It needs to find that piece. But still it's missing. 8-bit still playing with the emotions of Team Aryan. Team Aryan unfortunately lost out on Cyrax in that process, but Henry's still alive, all the way separated. And yeah, I don't think there's a way anyone else can actually stand a chance to claim this chicken dinner, especially Team Aryan can't. And I don't think even 4TR is going to be able to claim it. It's just impossible. The position they have, it's not going to allow them. This is Genesis Esports' game, and everyone is slowly and steadily suffering. Unless Genesis Esports gives away free elimination points and decide to throw this game.
Just like now, Hunters already knocked out. It seems like Yash or Zap maybe has to go for the revival as well. But it is also players of Team 8-bit in the close proximity. Yes, Genesis has dealt with the players of Team Aryan. Top 3 teams remaining. Yash going for the revival onto Hunters. But it is actually the players of 8-bit.
Indeed. Genesis. All the 4 men once again back upon their feet. They're looking pretty strong, 8-bit. These 3 players, they're a constant threat. And as I mentioned, positionally, and as the facts say, 4TR can't win this. The position is just bad.
Yeah.
It's 8-bit who's going to be checking the shorelines. You've also got Genesis Esports, who's constantly going to keep on checking the shorelines. Since the grounds are clear, everyone knows there's someone in the water. Straight up. And 4TR now, they've taken their breaths, and now they're finally on the way towards the edge. They want to make it across the bay, but they get spotted, and this is exactly what I was talking about. The moment they show themselves, they instantly get gunned down. It was impossible. But now it's a 3-on-4. 8-bit. They've got the disadvantage. And Genesis Esports, now all the players can group up in that direction of 8-bit and shut them down slowly.
Genesis still holding on to the compounds, and Huntus is a guy who's going for that lower flank angle onto the players of 8-bit with those grenades, trying to do something, clearing few spaces. Not exactly aware where exactly the players of Team 8-bit are, but he finds his power, and with a vehicle run over instantly knocks him down. NoNx trying to get a counter knock, but it was a quick job against the players of 8-bit.
That's back-to-back chicken dinner right there. In that previous game, Genesis Esports had 32 points. And now in this one, they claim a chicken dinner with a decent amount of points. This is the only team whose domination is consistent. Even OG faded away. Revenant X Spark as well today faded away. But Genesis Esports, they continuously reign supreme and reign their wrath and terror in the lobby. A dominating performance and a dominating win once again from Genesis. Sanhok is a zone-oriented map, but Genesis Esports still played that pretty clean. And well, we all knew for 8-bit to win that it was impossible given the position. For TR it was impossible as well given the position. And of course, the man flexing a little bit, having his moment. He's having the fun time.
They deserve it. They deserve to have fun. Genesis Esports, they dealt with the plus of Team 4TR. Later on, it was only the plus of 8-bit remaining, and that vehicle run over that style point also was taken away by the plus of Genesis. It was actually a very quick, easy job.
Exactly. We'll continue the conversations, but now we got to toss to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What's the cheat code, bro?
No code.
So, a script then, or a bot?
No script.
All right, class, for today's lesson.
I already taught her something.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Someone needs to find a way to stop Genesis Esports and their domination, because at this point, if they keep on moving up with the same pace, I'm pretty sure Genesis Esports, they will have a remarkable lead in the overall standings.
For sure, they're having a lead, but also the players of Team 8-bit have also started staging a comeback. It's not only Genesis, but 8-bit also who's trying to catapult themselves in the overall leaderboard.
But hey, Shadow, you know what the most important thing is? That is that Swiggy is pretty much giving us burgers for just 99 rupees. And that too with free delivery. That's insane, right? And I would recommend you guys to go out and check it out as well, because 99 rupees for a burger, that seems like a steal deal to me.
Are you ordering some for me also?
Yeah, you see, I mean, I've already ordered myself a few burgers, actually, so I did not want to share this with you guys because you guys will feel left out now, but fine, I've already eaten them, so you cannot ask me for those burgers anymore. But we've got the MVP popping up of Team Aryan, which is going to be Devotee with 5 finishes and 45% finish contribution. I mean, Team Aryan, somehow, they were doing pretty good in that game. I did not think Team Aryan's going to be able to do that great, especially looking at the way things started out for them.
Especially with those rotations. I think the rotations were really good from the side of Team Aryan. At the very start also, they got few elimination points, and later on, they maintained that entire southern control to themselves, where 5 finishes going all out. Henry is the guy who is the best companion with 2 rescues and 3 assists. Hunters are obviously the finisher.
Yeah, I mean, Hunters, as usual, he's supposed to want to pop off from Genesis Esports. Yeah, Genesis Esports not really going frag heavy in this game. It's because the circle is constantly panning on top of them over and over again. Yeah. And that's why Genesis Esports was just playing from that compound, getting that constant point flow, and it was all good in the hood for them. And as I mentioned, for Genesis Esports, now they've pulled off back-to-back chicken dinners. I think they have toppled themselves all the way at the first spot.
Highly possible. But this initial fight between the players of Team BS and Likitha Esports, it was a quick, easy job. But Metal Esports also going up against the players
of
Global Esports.
Yeah, even that was one of those fights. That was quite awkward, honestly, because Global Esports ended up third-partying them in quite the awkward manner. And, of course, they were there. Metal Esports was there to punish the players of 8-Bit, but 8-Bit was constantly teasing them. They were not really going for that proper fight.
Genesis Esports, they maintained the entire control of the compound for a very long time. Even the circle was also benefiting that compound very well. And later on, the momentum which Genesis is having, they're going for the aggressive stance. They dealt with the remaining players of 4TR and later on dealt with the players of Team 8-Bit as well. In the match ranking, we can see Genesis getting 21 total points.
Oh my god. This is some insane stuff from Genesis Esports, but 8-Bit, keep this thing in mind. It feels like 8-Bit is now starting to live under the radar. They're moving up slowly and steadily, making sure that they're not really being spotted by anyone. They're creeping and crawling their way up the overall standings under the radar, which is a good thing in my opinion. 8-Bit really do need these type of banger performances. Team Aryan with 15 points. We've also got 4TR with 11. Victoria Sumus getting those 8 points off the rip. And if you flip the page, you still see a few disappointing names. And another team whose performance has been dwindling down day by day has to be FS Esports.
Yeah.
This team, for some reason, they're not able to play good now because they started the entire tournament off with an absolute bang. FS Esports was doing so good. For a moment, we saw them in the top 4 as well. But now FS Esports is completely lost.
They most certainly are, but someone who is not lost are the players of Team Genesis. 3 chicken dinners, and now they are the table toppers with 289 points. REVENANT Spark not having the best of the day today, but still in the overall ranking, they are doing pretty decent on the second spot with 252 points.
So, REVENANT Spark has 252 points, and Genesis Esports has 289. What is the difference between the first and the second? Has to be around 30 plus, right?
Yeah.
Hands down, has to be around 30 plus. Look, I'm not too good with maths, so I'm just going to give you a rough number. But the second page of the overall standings is where the real concerns begin now. Because Mad Kings was supposed to be another one of those teams that was supposed to perform good. But Mad King's performance as well has not been too great. True Rippers, that's a whole different story as well. K9 Esports, I mean, at least they're moving up slowly and steadily.
But Phoenix Esports, back to the 24th spot.
I told you.
They made a jump in the overall leaderboard, but now they're back to home. TWOB in the same situation, in the same boat, struggling with 111 points. Reckoning Esports, this is a big shocker for me because I haven't seen Reckoning Esports struggle so much.
Yeah, I mean, Reckoning Esports, at least they're not second last anymore. Or at least they're not last anymore. Because before this previous game, Reckoning Esports was on the last spot.
Yeah.
But since Phoenix Esports messed up and Reckoning Esports had a decent game, that's why now Reckoning Esports is on the third last spot, but it's still a bad spot to be in. But something that's extremely good is going to be the OnePlus 13R. Keep this thing in mind, ladies and gentlemen. All the players that are currently playing on the stage are playing on this device, and they're having the time of their life. You guys are clearly watching them pull off those insane clutches, those insane moves in the game. It's all because of this device.
Well, the device is definitely doing really good. But you know what? We also have got the map of Erangel lined up. But we'll go to Erangel after this short little break. And let's find out who is going to be the table toppers after that map.
He was taken too soon. I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 Series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Unlock the Dravian X suit starting at 10 UC on BGMI. Limited time offer on Google Play.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The consistency of Genesis keeps on racking up and they keep on leading in the leaderboard itself, ladies and gentlemen. Is there going to be any other team who can eventually topple them down? For today, I'm pretty sure that's not possible. Maybe for the future, yes, it could be. Apart from two other teams who also had back-to-back chicken dinners, Shadow, finally the Godlike Hunters also have got two back-to-back of their own and they've got a chance to get a third one too.
Can they really get a hat-trick? That's the main question.
Who knows? Maybe they can.
I'm asking for your prediction.
With the performance that they are giving, you know, on both the off maps, they have proved themselves. And I'm pretty sure previously as well on the maps of Erangel, they have showcased themselves as well as one of the top tier teams. So I'm pretty sure that I think so they can pull this hat trick off. If there is any other team, I feel like it's going to be Genesis to pull it all off. But that's not the only thing that's happening out here right now, ladies and gentlemen. You've also got the Google Play points. With every single spending that you do, you earn Google reward points. And you want to make sure that you've got maximum number of points out here as well. To make sure that you get some extra rewards out there. What about your prediction though? You asked for mine.
I'm still shocked on the sentence that where you said two off maps. Since when Miramar is the off map?
If you're really considering that, it's
one of the OG map, Erangel and Miramar.
Fair.
So there is a very high chance that Genesis, they got a chicken dinner on the off map and the OG map. We can get one more on the OG map, Erangel.
I'm pretty sure that they might actually pull it off though. But my big question is, can Godlike topple down OG out there as well? Because they're closely chasing them too. Apart from that, Global Esports, they also had a pretty solid start early on. Let my boy sleep. Let him sleep. It's okay. He's been doing a lot of heavy lifting. He just wants to rest out here. I wish I could hear what he was about to say, but yeah, that's for the fans, people. That's absolutely for the fans. Something happening on back of that camera though, but you know, some nice vibes, chill vibes happening out in the 8-bit area, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of concerns out there for K9.
Omega, yes, agreed, under tremendous pressure since the way the entire team of K9 has been performing recently. But someone is really happy and smiling, and that is the players of Team 8-bit. They haven't got a chicken dinner, but still a good performance coming in.
Doesn't matter if that's the case right now though. There's one thing that I actually want to look at, and that's Z-God, who's got some choice words to say, so let's move on to there.
अभी आपका कोई भी सोशल प्रोफाइल खोल लो तो ई स्पोर्ट्स एथलीट का प्रोफाइल कम और लाइफस्टाइल कंटेंट क्रिएटर का प्रोफाइल ज्यादा लगता है। ये आप कैसे जस्टिफाई करेंगे?
तो देखो यार, मेरी ई स्पोर्ट्स से हटके भी एक मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ कि मेरी लाइफ है, और मैं पर्सनली मैं एक ऐसा बंदा हूँ जिसको घूमना बहुत पसंद है, जिसको चीज़ें एक्सप्लोर करना बहुत पसंद है, एंड वो चीज़ें लोग देखें कि दुनिया में और क्या क्या है, तो मुझे वो दिखाना अच्छा लगता है कि आज मैं कहीं और जाके घूम रहा हूँ, मैं कहीं और कुछ कर रहा हूँ। मतलब दुनिया इतनी सी नहीं है जितनी तुम देख रहे हो, दुनिया ई स्पोर्ट्स नहीं है, तो बहुत कुछ है दुनिया में। तो मैं वैसा बंदा हूँ कि मैं घूमूँ, मैं लोगों को दिखाऊँ कि क्या क्या है दुनिया में, उनको नेचर दिखाऊँ, उनको चीज़ें दिखाऊँ, उनको लोगों के जो कुछ भी हो, मतलब उनको सब दिखाना पसंद है मेरे को। तो बस मैंने ये सोच के मेरा इंस्टा पूरा अलग बिल्ड कर लिया कि ये ज़ीगॉड नहीं है, ये अभिषेक।
It's absolutely fair that there's a big amount of life left outside of the esports as well, but right now on this stage, it's your game that matters, and 4TR, they've got to pull some miraculous runs up if they want to basically qualify even in the top 12.
Let's see if they can actually be the table toppers, of if they can be the top 12, which you are talking about, because 4TR has been on the struggling side, especially if you remember what really happened on the map of Sanhok. They had the numbers advantage. It was a 4v2 situation, and despite that, there was a hesitation from the side of 4TR that costed them 2 extra points in the power play itself. They ultimately went on to finish the plus of FS, but when the power play was over, they had enough time to deal with the remaining 2 plus, and despite that, hesitation.
They took an eternity to try and do that, but we're not going to take an eternity to put the planes up back in the sky, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's refueled up and it's all ready to drop down all the way from Severny towards Sosnovka military base, a very centralized plane flypath, just like the first map of Erangel that we actually saw, where we did see quite a few teams move all the way around the area of Primorsk and Ferry Pier, right? But that was when Group B was playing. Right now we've got a few different teams out here. We've got True Rippers up into the mix. We've got Reckoning, Likitha Esports as well. Victorous Sumus. I remember even yesterday they had or rather a day before yesterday, they had a pretty decent day at Erangel. Were able to convert a chicken dinner as well against a couple of members on the other side. So I'm pretty sure that they'd be looking for the similar strategies or similar plays. But since Ferry Pier is a bit far off right now, Ash has called his team to drop somewhere over towards shooting range or maybe move towards Zarki.
Not so happy looking at the position of the plus of K9, because seems like they are having a drop clash against the plus of Team 8-Bit, a team who has been doing really great in the overall standings. But actually it's not 8-Bit. 8-Bit is going all the way towards the side of Farm and Pujinki. It is actually MyG. Even we have got the plus of Phoenix Esports in the close proximity towards shooting range. So there is a high possibility of a third party also coming in, but Beast all by himself, not looking so good. He has got an Uzi and Kalan has been forced to fall back. But look at the position where Shadow is. Even though he's on a very low HP, he can do a lot of damage towards the side of Beast, who is all by himself.
If I'm not wrong, he's got a crossbow probably. So I'm quite sure that he's going to try and run away. But a big 3-pointer coming in from Omega. Nice opener being founded. He's also got the Bison up in the hands as well. It's going to be pretty brutal to deal with right now. MyG lost Hermanos. It's always been the team to win the drop clashes out. I was about to say that I'm pretty worried about what K9 can eventually do out here as they move up close and steady. Dividing the members 2 and 2. Kalan falls as well as Snuck eventually gets a knock onto him. This could be a very flawless conversion. Ninja Boy has got to try and pull some shenanigans off. He's been struggling out there in the performance. But this time around, wants to try and move up close and personal. Spy, Evil, Shadow. All three of them back up on their feet. So it's only Kalan right now, and Spy will fall down. Ninja Boy pulling a nasty one onto them. And MyG are now on the receiving end.
K9, they still have managed to get 1 point confirmed onto the plus of MyG, but still, it's a 4v3 situation. Still doable for the players of MyG.
Look at Slug.
But yes, Slug is going for the flank angle. Kanan is still down. Beast can easily get the confirmation point onto him. It's a 2v4 situation for the players of MyG. And the way the entire team of K9 is charging towards him, Slug definitely has an advantage. But wait a second. Ninja Boy has been knocked out. Even Shadow, the trade is there. And Slug was there to save the day. Although he couldn't save Ninja Boy. But 4 finishes, so that means 8 points secured. This is the type of confidence boost or start which the players of K9 need at this point.
I eventually wanted Ninja Boy as well to have a very solid boost in the confidence. But yes, winning a fight against my G Loss Hermanos, and that to a drop clash, man, that is absolutely nice. Don't normally see that happen right now, but you were talking about the third party, Shadow. Phoenix Esports heard all of that commotion, but the question is, do they really want to go on for this fight?
Seems like maybe yes, or maybe not. Few shots being fired, and now they're going to prioritize the rotation because the circle is a completely southern western circle. Where 8-bit, they are holding on to the Crore and Gatka, where we have the players of Likitha Esports in the close fray. Everyone is just going to focus on the rotations at this point, especially the players of VS, as they have the good position inside the circle. They have the entire control of Ferry Pier and Primos. Could actually be a good game for the players of VS, but few teams, like the players of Global Esports, all the way towards school apartments. Then we have got the players of Orient towards Rozo. Could be a possibility of a rotation clash between them.
Along with Global Esports as well, who are right by their side. Manya. Right towards that school now. Since Soul is not here, he's brought his boys back down to that same drop where he likes to call for. On the extreme edges, we see Godlike all the way up north towards Stolber and Kameshki, or rather south of Kameshki. Then Genesis up there in Lipovka. But you were talking about a clash happening here and there, though. The main clash happening is with 8-bit right now. Look at the Esports. They've decided to try and move up far forward. Pump shotgun, not really getting any kind of connection. Molotov's going to be sent in as his power still maintains his high ground. Nade Parade is going to go in towards him. Sees one player, sends out the nade as well. Does not really get anything apart from chip damage. Can't drop down from here. He's going to deal a decent amount of damage to himself, and it could be risky. He can be knocked out just by that fall damage. He just holds his position right now. Smoker is still inside that house. So he's got to be careful around that. Still got one player all the way back. Aqua, Espower, all of them up close and personal. Raiden as well. Beast is the man who's going to be a little bit far back out here from the team, but Inferno is the first one to fall down there. That's a big play coming in. Lovely nade from Espower as they find the second player as well with the numbers advantage. Look at the Esports faltering. 8-bit standing tall like a giant. It's a troll that you can't really take down. And the sun is not a problem for them as they destroy Likitha. And his power shines with 2.
8-bit, 4 finishes secured, and Likitha Esports once again having a bad outing in the map of Erangel. If you remember, in the map of Sanhok also, they were the first one to be eliminated by the players of VS in the power play itself. And this time again in the very first circle, Likitha Esports facing a similar outcome. Although for the players of 8-bit, 8 extra points definitely going to help them catapult themselves in the overall ranking. But we also have got the players of Genesis all the way towards the side of Lipovka, who are going for the late rotation. Can easily find a clear pathway inside the circle though. Can really work in their favor. But we also have got a situation between Hero Extreme Godlike and Metal out in the open. Termi and Venom has been knocked out. Should be an easy confirmation, but seems like Hero Extreme Godlike, they are on the chase. They want to chase Aimbot, who is trying to escape and scuttle back to the safety. But the main question is, will he be allowed to do so? And seems like yes is the answer.
I'm still quite not sure as to why they let go of that chase, but it's absolutely fine. We always talk about how greed is not really the best possible way of the answer. They eventually take them down too. It's kind of a revenge from the previous match, where Medal ruined the game of Godlike out here. So they're here to take that fight against them. And that too in the power play, so they're going to get a couple of points of that. And Jonathan just bans Termi. Oh my goodness, that's a statement. 4 points for Godlike right now, who are still trying to move up and over to topple down OG. They need a pretty decent game to push them on the 4th spot. It's absolutely fine right now. They've got a lot of time to try and pull this off. Considering the circle is way too big, the 30% of it is unplayable.
Just look at the position where Reckoning is. In the blue, close to the players of Team FS, and FS and Reckoning, they both have been struggling in the leaderboard. They both have been struggling in those 4v4 fights. There is a chance that they can actually collide with themselves. But looking at the circle, like you said, a crazy circle, not an easy terrain to play around with. But Mad Kings, they do have a decent spot. They have the entire northern control of the circle, where else all the rest of the teams are trying to traverse either from the eastern side or from the southern side.
A big rainbow forming down south. There's only going to be one white light that will emerge from that. Interesting to see that Reckoning is also on the very far end of built-up power shadow.
That's what I said. Reckoning and FS were in this close proximity, but seems like Reckoning is still taking their sweet little time to go for those rotations, and FS is the faster one. But Mad Kings and Hero Extreme Godlike can also collide with each other. For now, we have the players of Team Henry and Global Esports as well. Aiming for that center control. Henry with that M416 is trying to pep a few bullets towards the side of Global Esports, but seems like Global Esports managed to escape back safely, and now they do have a decent spot for themselves.
But the performance team are in pulled to the previous one. Yeah, you would not really want to fight them when they're in this red hot form. So
That's true.
I'd still say that's a pretty decent decision of Manya giving up that space. It's fine. Being able to occupy that one part. But the reason why I mentioned about that Reckoning Point Shadow is the fact that they're absolutely at the third last position right now with 115 points, right? Nothing too fancy. If anything, they're over 110 points behind the other teams. They still need quite a lot of stuff to try and bring themselves back up right now, as so Mad Kings, who are looking for that top spot, who are still looking to breach into that top 5, and it's going to be Medal who will become the prey of them.
Was it actually Scout's grenade that took down aimbot?
Because Mad Kings only have one finish.
No, I saw that in the finish feed as well.
Highly possible. Highly possible.
I don't know what really happened in that situation, but moving on, Mad Kings. Now they might have to deal with the players of Team Aryan as well, as Aryan himself is keeping a close eye onto the players of Mad Kings and maybe eyeing for that very spot, very compound, which Mad Kings want to take a control of.
I'm not really a big fan of him being out in the open like that, right? Because yes, he's keeping an eye onto Mad Kings, but that's at the same time, look at how open he is from all the other directions. That's a bit of a problem coming in for his side. And so is for 4TR. Getting caught all the way out in open eye, and of course, and it's Hunters that we're talking about. The AUG in the hand. Still trying to push up. Still taking that space. And he knows it's 4TR. He's confident against them. They've also got the confirmation with that finish. So now they're going to try and grip around the members of 4TR and then take them down. Putting their claw around the neck. And it hurts the most, but there's also FS right next to them. So that third party can also actually ruin the taste of Genesis.
Not just a third party, there's a possibility of a fourth party also happening from the team who's already inside the circle. But why not, Genesis? They are actually chasing down the players of 4TR, and that spray of AUG could be deadly. It is deadly. Takes on Apollo, and Pain is live as well. Apollo somewhere else on the map. Z-God still trying to escape. Takes a lot of damage from the side of Genesis Esports Zap. But that spray where that came in.
Absolutely. Phenomenal performance coming in there right now, but Ninju has got to pull something up that he pulled in the map of Miramar itself against 8-bit right now. He's still trying to hold it strong, but it's Simp for the answer. He needs to stand up strong when the rest of the members are faltering, when the rest of the members are falling. And he will hold his ground for now. Punk also gets taken down, so it's an absolute disaster for Godlike. Clutch God still standing up, holding up, and he's going to jump in back to the action. But he gets destroyed. Gets fired up from all directions. Simp shuts him down, and this man holds his ground, but not for long, as the resurgence of the Phoenix. This is something you've got to worry about. The nade parade's going to come in. Chaptin is cooking something up. Can he land perfectly is the big question. Jumps inside as well. That is absolutely bold move from him. Still sends it out as well. Does not really catch anything. So it's going to be the revival back up on the feet. But the Smalley takes him down. And Godlike are all on the mercy of Admino. Can this man pull this one clutch off? Can he do something? Sends out an aid. Gets a knock as well. Archit falling down on his feet now. Simp, he's bleeding out, yes. But it's Admino who can eventually finish them off. A player blocking his way. But it's still down to a 1v1. Can he do something?
Look at the amount of smoke which has been deployed. Admino, he first needs to patch himself up and maybe go for the revival onto the fallen comrade, but he can't give enough time for the reset. And even the players of Phoenix Esports were charging it towards him. The man pulls off an impossible task. Admino, not able to give the revive to the fallen comrades, but gets those finish points onto the players of Phoenix Esports. Phoenix, valiant effort, but all down the drain. Just 4 finishes. But we also have the players of 8-bit in the close proximity. But for now, they're not really charging into with the side of Admino. Rather, they are picking a fight with the players of Team VS who are trying to traverse from the southern end.
Massive clutch by Admino. Standing up to the title his fans have given him of Godmino. Shuts down the entirety of the Phoenix Shadow. But we still have to talk about how disconnected Phoenix were in their push, giving individuals to the other side. There were no proper trades coming in as well, and I believe this is something Phoenix will have to work around with. Yes, they've got 4 early finishes too. That's fair. Had they been in the power play itself, that means it's 8 points. But apart from that, if this thing continues, they're going to face the exact same thing that MyG Los Hermanos are facing right now. And that is, they do get the finish points, they get the bonus points, but they don't really get the position points. So that's a bit of a problem. And we are talking about positioning. Is Power being knocked outside in the open as well, but the cover fire is being provided. Not from his team, it's actually from FS who are trying to stop the members of Reckoning to try and claim that one finish. So his Power will be brought back up on his feet.
I don't know if he actually will be, because the remaining players of 8-bit seems like they're actually going for the rescue mission, but Reckoning, FS, 8-bit, 3 teams in such a close proximity, where we also have the players of True Rippers coming in FS from the northern end. There's a very high chance of a 3rd party or a 4th party coming in. Genesis, I like their approach. They're sticking to the edge of the circle, going for this late rotation, which is actually working in their favor. And if it goes according to the plan, there is a high possibility of Genesis going for a hat-trick. Because look at the cluster. Genesis, they have managed to keep themselves away from that cluster, and the backlines are pretty much clear.
The only big problem that can be posed to them, just as you perfectly mentioned, is going to be FS. Apart from that, yes, it just depends on where the circle goes. If it goes towards the shoreline, it's going to be True Rippers who will have a massive advantage. If he somehow takes a central shift, I'd say 8-bit. But I really like this split coming in from True Rippers, though, to be honest. Even though Genesis are on our screens right now over towards the northeastern part, yes, they've got that control, but True Rippers is a team that I really want to focus on at this point. Playing with a 2-2 split right now over towards the edge. Jelly. If the circle takes a centric shift, then he's going to call his members to his own position. If it takes a bit far western shift, then he's going to move back and rendezvous with them. While every other team will eventually try to barge in from the south, will have to inevitably go against the members of 8-bit right now, though. Team Aryan as well on the southwestern fray. Seems like it's a date with destiny. The duel against Global Esports, it will come through.
Team Aryan versus the players of Global Esports. Global Esports, they have got the entire southern control of the circle. And that is exactly where we have the players of Team Aryan. Both of these teams are going pretty slow. 0 finishes, eyeing for that winner chicken dinner. 8-bit, somewhere in the centrish spot. The next circle also forms onto the plus of 8-bit, Global Esports and Team Aryan. Now is the moment when the plus of Team Aryan can actually go up against the plus of Global Esports. Devotee has got a lot of information as well. 2 grenades in the backpack can come really handy. But the main problem is FS and Genesis. They both are trying to traverse from the northern part of the map. That is where they can actually collide with each other. But I love the position where True Rippers are. Completely on the western shorelines. Keeping themselves away from all that cluster, all that commotion. And this is actually a pretty slow Erangel as compared to yesterday's last Erangel, if you notice, Scared. Not too many teams are going for that aggressive approach this time.
It's probably because of the terrain as well, with the way how the landscape and the geography is of this entire area. You've got quite a few compounds to play with. You've got a few ridge lines as well. And most of the teams are clearing their backlines, so don't really have a lot of stranglers remaining apart from just a few. One of them being at Minnow from Godlike. And there's also 4TR. With Z-God remaining. I'd still say Godlike are in a pretty solid position. Getting 8 finish points already, with 4 of them, or rather 2 of them being gained in the power play itself. 4 points out of their pocket. Yeah, if that happened in real life, I'm not quite sure how much the bill would be on your vehicles, but alright. FS finally locking horns against the members of Genesis out here, though. The trades are still in favor of the boys in green. Roman's going to be taking down Hunter all the way left out there, as Reckoning they try to stop them too, but it's the third party. It's always on point right now. Hunter still bleeding out, and Yash tries to hold his ground. Gravity tries to provide a cover fire from all the way in the far fray, but he gets third partied as well. Impeccable, and the Molotov is stupendous. Yash is going to be bleeding out as Hunters brings himself back up on the feet as the nade parade still go in. Can this man launch something? And the answer is no. It's True Rippers from the sidelines to ruin the hat-trick possibility of Genesis.
Hat-trick being denied, but Global Esports going up against the plus of Team Aryan. Back and forth trades are coming in, where it's only one last player remaining from the side of Aryan, Devotee. The entire pressure is onto his shoulders to go for the revival onto Cyrex. But Global Esports, even they are going for the revivals, where one of the player was actually charging in. It is actually Hermanos also in stopping 10 finishes being secured. 8-bit also coming in for the third party, and Global Esports one not ready and prepared. Sprague, the last man standing, not standing for a very long time as he has got a sliver of HP. We still have one player more remaining from the side of Global Esports on the verge of getting dismantled, but Reckoning Esports has been eliminated on the 7th spot. 8-bit, they are the aggressive force. They have got the control of the circle. This 1v3 split is actually working for the plus of 8-bit. Troy, left all by himself, can actually go for those position points. You know what, Scared? I'm going to call it down. I think True Rippers are getting this one, or maybe 8-bit.
Victor Sumus as well could be in a pretty decent spot if you really think about it, if they can make their pounds out of those compounds. But I'm actually going and leaning in a bit more towards 8-bit as well. Got 9 finishes already. They've still got the compound control with in the hands of Beast. They just cleared their sidelines, and they know that there's one lurker from Global Esports remaining, as the team was not eliminated. So that's something that they'd have to focus on as well. They know that the players were eventually knocked down out here. Hydro and Harsh, they had the high ground, they had that hill, but they will have to make a move eventually. And it's such a smart move coming in from Hydro. He's just bursting down the tires of the vehicles which Victorious would have eventually used for the rotation. So they're going to make sure that even though they can't really get the players of Victorious down to their knees, at least they're going to be handicapped. Admino eventually takes care of Troy out on the other end. That one Strangler wrapping up the job as well. Now he's got to take care of FS up all the way towards north, where Gods is remaining. 8-bit, they've got the full control right now. They can try and maybe get a couple of knocks on the members of True Rippers, and this would be their game.
Admino single guy from the side of Hero Extreme Godlike doing so much. Out of 11, 6 finishes just by him. Jelly, along with Kyo Lamau, have already moved inside the circle, but look at the position where Harsh is. Still outside of the safe zone. And they are actually eyeing on the same compound where we have the players of Team VS. And the minute the players of VS will start making those rotations, I think True Rippers, they are going to strike in. Even the players of of 8-bit, especially Aquanox, the guy is keeping a close eye onto the players of VS. This is not looking good. This is not looking promising for the players of VS. Third party can flourish in.
Anytime.
Michael being spotted out. But it is actually Ermino on the other side dealing with the players of Team FS.
Right now, Victorism is there. All their vehicles were eventually taken down right now. So eventually True Rippers will be holding all of their rotations. And I have no clue why they absolutely love the hovercraft. But guess what? You always see the members of True Rippers in those hovercrafts in every other game. As Power, he's moved dangerously close to the other members. Replenishes his armor. That to level 3 right now. The nade goes in. It's going to blow in the next few seconds though, but I believe it's a bit far wide, or rather not enough right now. Going back in the vehicle as well, which could have been taken down. His Power knocks down away. That's the first pick coming in. Now he needs to be careful. There's still some cover fire being provided on the other end. Can't really patch himself up, but lands in another blow. Still holds his ground down. You've got 3 more players standing for 8-bit right now, and it's Cheyenne who's up close and personal, and at the perfect time, True Rippers, they show up for the third party. They want to be the hyenas to steal it all away. The third party kings eventually stealing those finishes away. As it's 8-bit now, on the loss of the S-Power, are ready to try and take the members down. And how do you try to move out of the hovercraft like that? Not the best possible move, gives a freebie to Aqua. As he, along with Beast, who's yet to open his record right now, can eventually take this one away. But don't forget, Admiral has also made his move throughout all of this commotion right now. It's a 3v2 going in. Kyo, he's going to be brought down onto his knees as Jelly moves a bit more up front as well. A 1v2 coming in, and iQOO 8-bit are eventually pulling the unthinkable off. You've got one more player remaining from True Rippers up on his feet, but it's Admino from the back lines. No one expected for him to pull this off, but he can ruin the day of 8-bit.
Ermino strikes at the right moment. A blessing in disguise for the players of True Rippers. But the damage has been done. 3 players eliminated. But Beast, the only man standing from the side of 8-bit. It is actually a 1v1 versus 1 situation if the revival doesn't come on time. Harsh being spotted from the side of True Rippers, but Beast, he can actually get sandwiched between both the teams, both the players, but he's going for the rescue mission, he's going for the revival, and the grenade from the side of Harsh can be so deadly, but the trajectory is missing, the connection is missing, but the follow-up grenade is also coming in, and this time the player is again back on his feet, moves away at the right nick of time. Aquanox, he needs to patch himself up, but don't forget Ermino, he's also in the back lines, he can also go for the chicken dinner, and Harsh gets a connection onto Beast. Aquanox still having that airdrop cover, but is that enough? Because look at Ermino.
He's ready out here, up on the corner. This could very well be a godlike chicken, which we never expected. Beast is going to be chipped down by Harsh. Beast had the chance. He needed to connect all the shots right now. Here we go, Admino, another nade. What have we learned from Jonathan? He's learned everything. Takes both of them down from 8-bit, and it's down to the last one. We won. True Rippers versus Godlike. How has it reached to this? How is Godlike even here? How was Ermino left as the strangler and he's still up, alive and cooking?
9 finishes out of 14 just by this single lad. When everyone was fighting, he was not even inside the safety of the circle. Went for the late rotation, did so much damage towards the side of 8-bit. Came down to the last 1v1. It can go either ways. True Rippers Harsh being spotted. Lot of damage being dished out. It is actually the M416 in the hands of Ermino. But no, it is S12K. And Harsh will win that duel. And that winner chicken dinner will go in the hands of True Rippers. Valiant efforts from the side of Edmino, but it is actually TrueRippers getting that big victory. And did I call for it, Scared? I told you, TrueRippers or 8-bit, they are getting this one.
The dish was perfect. It just missed the cherry on top. That's something TrueRippers were able to steal away and put it on their own cake. What a performance coming in from Harsh. When everything looked right for 8-bit, that's when they get sandwiched, and boy, the performance was impeccable. We already know who the MVP is going to be for this game. No one can steal it away from Admino, but a nice Erangel and a nice closure to the day 2 of week 2 by TrueRippers, winning out on that chicken dinner. I will not say that it was served to them on a silver platter. I'd have to say it was almost stolen away, but the third party timing was superb. Last blow as well. Up in front of us out here, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we talk about the interview. Let's send it all the way down as well.
BGMS की दुनिया में ये भी होता है, जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि स्क्रिप्ट फॉलो हो रही है, वहाँ पे पूरी तरीके से स्क्रिप्ट जो है वो बदल जाती है. गॉड लाइक, वेल, ऐसा लग रहा था दैट मे बी इस मैच में चिकन डिनर उनको मिलेगा. बट फर्स्ट अप आई हैव गॉट जेली. बाल बचे, बाल भी अच्छे लग रहे हैं, लेकिन बाल बचे. हमारे कास्टर्स बोल रहे थे एडमिनो डजंट मिस हिज शॉट्स. हर्ष वर्सेस एडमिनो 1v1 बैटल थी. डू यू कंसीडर योरसेल्फ लकी?
नहीं, लकी क्यों थे? मतलब अच्छा प्लेयर है हर्ष, उसमें लक का थोड़ी कुछ होता है.
नहीं, जिस तरीके से वो मोमेंटम बन गया था, उसने एडमिनो ने एक लौते तरीके से उसने 8-bit को खत्म कर दिया था. ही हैड एवरीथिंग गोइंग फॉर हिम, और वहां पे उसने हर्ष को भी परेशान कर ही दिया था टिल हर्ष गॉट लकी.
मतलब देखो, मैं एडमिनो के साथ पहले खेला हूँ, मेरे को पता था वो केपेबल तो है क्लच आउट करने का, लेकिन साथ में ये है कि अभी हर्ष के साथ भी तो खेल रहा हूँ, तो उस पर भी उतना ही जरा मेरे को भरोसा था और निकालने का.
Why were you angry? अभी ऐसा लगा कि मैच जैसे ही खत्म हुआ, you guys were in a very animated conversation, थोड़ी गर्मा गर्मी लग रही थी. So what was the conversation there?
लाइक मतलब एंग्री तो इसलिए था क्योंकि शायद हम लोग 4 मैंने लाइव रह के बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा चिकन कन्वर्ट कर सकते थे. बेमतलब की कैजुअलिटीज थी जो भी थी, तो उसके लिए एंग्री था. भले ही चिकन आया हो, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली अगर जीतना है तो अपने को वो चीज़ मिनिमाइज करनी पड़ेगी, और गलतियां अभी भी हो रही है.
मुझे कल की बात याद आ रही है जो तुमने कहा था कि कल का मैच जो जीता तुमने, उससे थ्रिल जो आया, दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ थ्रिल दैट यू लिव फॉर. आज के मैच में कितना थ्रिल आया?
ये भी देखो काफी जरा टफ जोन था देखा जाए तो. फिर से मैंने अपना काम अच्छे से करा. बाकी टीम भी अच्छा खेली, लेकिन वही है कि मेरे हिसाब से शायद एंड में और ज्यादा बेटर रिजल्ट्स आ सकते थे, काफी हाई फिनिशेस आ सकते थे, और एंड में वो नहीं होना चाहिए था. 1v1 में मतलब बात नहीं जानी चाहिए थी. हम लोग 4 मैन लाइव थे, शायद एक ही टीम थी जो 4 मैन लाइव थी, और वही है, इसीलिए थोड़ा गुस्सा हो गया था इधर उधर.
बड़े बुजुर्गों ने कहा है कि दिन में एक शब्द ऐसा निकलता है जो भगवान जो है वो सुन के आपको शब्द बार बार सामने ले आता है. आई थिंक यू हैव बिकम द थ्रिल मैग्नेट, क्योंकि अब आपकी दिन में एक ना एक बार थ्रिल जो है वो जरूर आ जाता है. कांग्रेचुलेशंस टू TrueRippers ऑन विनिंग दिस चिकन डिनर. लेंगे एक छोटा सा ब्रेक एंड विल बी बैक ऑन द अदर साइड.
Do it like that. 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 Do it like that.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
He was taken too soon.
I told him, lag, we have got Snapdragon 8 series Gen 3. Elite performance, unprecedented 144 FPS, zero stutter and heating.
And yet, he still tried.
A beautiful thing.
A performance like that is indeed what's needed of true rippers for them to propel back in the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the OnePlus Android BGMI Master Series Season 4, man. I needed a breather after that because that was an intense game, a trifecta. And in that break, I also had a sip of Bisleri water, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you drink it up as well because after that hot-headed gameplay, you need some things to calm yourself down. But consistent performances coming from 8-bit.
Yeah, for sure. That is what I was mentioning to Necro as well, that few teams who are struggling in the first page itself, few teams are being so consistent with their performance, especially the players of 8-bit. Initially, we saw them struggling. Later on, the comeback was there. They're still short on that winner-winner chicken dinner. They could have gone for it in the last map of Erangel as well. It was so close. It could have gone either ways, in the hands of Godlike or maybe in the hands of 8-bit. But eventually it went in the hands of True Rippers in that last 1v1.
I mean, Hermanos stole that one away from 8-bit. Could not really grab it for himself. Ended up delivering it to the other side. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the MVP of the previous game as well. Let's have a look at that too, because 9 finishes is absolutely madness. It is ludicrous to think about that. And he was the solo strangler as well, Shadow.
It's only Hermino who can do so much when he's surviving all by himself, going both for those third parties. And the best decision was to go for the late rotation in the circle itself. Out of 49 finishes, just by Hermino going all out. And NoNx is the best companion from the side of 8-bit, 2 rescues and 1 assist. But Harsh is the guy who was able to land the final blow when he was on a very low HP also.
Some big names out here coming in, right? Harsh, he used to play under the banner of Team Insane when he used to play under the IG-ling of Adi as well, right?
Yes.
Adi and Harsh, they used to go together, while when we were talking all the way back in BGMS Season 2 and also Season 3, it was Jelly and Admino together under the banner of OR, then moved into the banner of Godlike. It's so many stories now converging back in, and not just in the way how we thought it would, but rather in the way where they are standing up against each other. So it's actually poetic to even think about that now. Jelly still holding up and saying that on the interview as well, that yes, I know Admino has got that capabilities, but I've also got Harsh right now. And he's an equal potential. He's a player with the equal potential out here right now. And that's exactly what we saw in the previous one.
I also really want to know what happened with Scout. Taking down Aimbot with his own grenade. I'm sure he was planning to do something else. Some mishap happened, but Harsh didn't let any mishap happen in the last final duel. The chicken dinner came in for the players of True Rippers, and in fact, along with 8-bit, if someone is super consistent in getting those chicken dinners every day, are the players of True Rippers. This time also so many points being collected, 20 points, but it is 8-bit on the top because of those 17 finish points.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes at this point. You know what? Just give them a break out here right now. This team was struggling so much, and now without even the chicken dinners, they're at the top of the table as well in the match ranking too. Godlike not that far behind, 16 finished points overall for them, wherein overall finishes that they had were 14, and out of that 9 from Admino. Absolutely fantastic. True Rippers being the third team with hitting that 20-point bomber as well. Some problems all the way out on the other side. Mad Kings, MyG lost Hermanos. So this is one of the new surprises for me. MyG lost Hermanos not winning that drop fight. It's very rare to see, but it also means that K9 are now finally feeling themselves. But here's the big thing, Shadow. Forget about the top 4. Let it be. It's okay. Focus on which team is on the 8th position.
8-bit, yes, they have made a quick jump in the leaderboard in the recent few days. Even Global Esports, they are also feeling confident in those 4v4 fights. But few mishaps do happen with the plus of Global Esports as well. Few early exits are also there. And in fact, Global Esports is the one to get the maximum chicken dinners. 4 chicken dinners. They are struggling on those bonus points as well. And so are the players of True Rippers, just 8 bonus points accumulated.
They just never really are for that bonus points, right? They're always for playing it slow, cool, calm, collected. Their main aim is to be in the top 12, I'm pretty sure. Because top 4 is going to be very difficult for them. Let's be brutally honest, right? It's over 250 points now that you eventually require, rather 230. And since they're not taking the advantage of the bonus points itself, considering the impact player, bounty, power play, I don't quite feel like they'd be able to make it in top 4 without that.
Global Esports and True Rippers are the only 2 teams with the maximum chicken dinners. True Rippers, they also have got the 4 chicken dinners, and they are not relying on those bonus points. Rather, they are relying on those chicken dinners. They're going for the position points and also finish points. So that is a very good approach which True Rippers are bringing in, and maybe when next time the impact player and the bounty system is there, impact player system is there, they can actually go for those bonus points as well.
I mean, I would really want them to at least have one or the other player in the list of the TVS most wicket players as well, right? Because of all the teams that we've seen who are in the top 8 or at least in the top 10, they've got at least one of their players performing out like a madman. And for now, it's going to be Admino, right? Because of those 9 finishes, he goes up ahead of Hunter as well, who's just 1 finish behind at 53. Trace God slowly and steadily climbing up that ladder with 49. 1 shot of 50 himself. AKOP, and that's a massive drop, Shadow. He had a lead of almost around 5 to 7 finishes. Now he's trailing behind.
Yeah, OG has not really been feeling themselves. The domination which they used to bring in the previous week, that has been missing in their week 2.
That's the big thing happening right here. But, ladies and gentlemen, another big thing is going to be the TVS Raider. It's an absolute wicked bike out here. You don't want to miss out on this one. One of the best in-class segment bike out here. So I'm pretty sure Necro is also head over heels for this bike, right? As much as he loves Swiggy burgers as well, he absolutely loves that bike too. But since we're already on the topic of Swiggy, right? Why not have a look at this Max Swiggy 99 takedown as well? With how many times we have seen those 99 finishes happen. It sure is a very aggressive lobby. That is for sure.
It certainly is, and looking at the stats of the Swiggy 99 finishes, total number of matches 36, total number of finishes 2,151, and 21 times we got those 99 finishes. But why don't you do something for me, Scared?
No.
Just scan the QR code and order a few burgers for me and your own self.
Why should I order it for you?
Because it's free delivery.
I can say the exact same thing for you to give that back to me. But you know what? One thing that we're going to focus on right now is not going to be the Swiggy, but rather Red Bull Max finishes out here. Admino is going to be the man who will have that cap up on top. Hunter's following him close. We've been discussing about the exact same thing. But man, oh man, I'm pretty sure Suren is going to be so ready to ask so many questions. So I'm not going to take a lot of your time out there. We're going to send it down on the stage for him to ask.
कभी-कभी लगता है कि जिंदगी इतनी बेरहम हो जाती है कि वो इंसान के सब्र की आजमाइश करने उतर आई हो. I have to give the Red Bull Max Takedown cap to the guy who's the best. Unfortunately, he must be going through so many emotions. Admino of God like God, Mino, not your day, brother. Last में जो हुआ, pretty much the last second of that match. What are you feeling right now?
मैं वर्ड्स में नहीं बोल सकता, मतलब पता नहीं अभी कैसे बताऊं, लेकिन ऐसा रहेगा कि रात में नींद नहीं आने वाली है.
I was just checking. तुम इकलौते godlike player बचे हुए थे. Do you have an idea how long you survived? कितना time तुम अकेले थे on that map?
आइडिया नहीं है, बट शायद से ओवरऑल 23-24 मिनट के आसपास.
29 मिनट 57 seconds. 3 seconds shy of half an hour. जब एक बंदा अकेला रह जाता है मैप पे in a tough tournament like this, कई लोग तो हथियार डाल देते हैं, but you survived. Not only did you survive, you almost pulled off the impossible. What was your mindset like? उस टाइम पे क्या चल रहा होता है? क्योंकि आपने तो almost जीत दिला दी थी अपनी टीम को.
मैं ही नहीं, अगर मेरी टीम में से कोई भी रहता तो हमारा ऐसा तो माइंडसेट नहीं रहता कि हम हथियार अपने छोड़ दें. बट अभी कैसे बताऊँ मैं आपको बोल नहीं पा रहा क्योंकि वो जो अभी मोमेंट हुआ है ना मेरे साथ वो ऐसा भी मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हिट बैक हूँ बट अगली बार ट्राई करूँगा कि वो फिर से ना दोहराया जाए.
आई थिंक जिंदगी में कामयाबी के लिए यू नीड टू गो थ्रू ऑल दीज काइंड ऑफ मोमेंट्स. आज का मोमेंट इट विल टीच यू अ लॉट. बट एक बात के साथ मैं एंड करना चाहता हूँ. पहले सीजन में कंसिस्टेंसी देखी थी गॉड लाइक में जो उसके बाद नहीं दिखी है. बट द वे यू गाइस हैव बीन कंसिस्टेंट, आप लोग टॉप 5 में ऑलमोस्ट थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट रहे हैं. क्या अंदर से आपके दिल में और आपके फैंस के दिल में वो फीलिंग आ रही है दैट 2025 सीजन 4 कुड बी गॉडल्स ईयर?
फॉर मी एंड माई टीम, करंट टीम, इट्स नाउ और नेवर. दैट्स इट.
It's now or never. He said it. क्या godlike का साल होगा? That is the big question for all the godlike fans. What a fabulous end to this day. थोड़े emotions, थोड़ा passion, थोड़ा aggression. Just thinking, what do we have in store tomorrow? मिलेंगे आपसे कल शाम को 5 बजे BGMS सीजन 4 पर.